The episode begins with the main character of our series, Saw Kim, who finds himself in a new world. In this world, he now goes by the name Leon Frontera. Along with him is his bodyguard Javier and 4 small monsters. Leon holds a shovel in his hand, slams it into the ground, and declares, "This is my story, the story of a civil engineer." The moment his shovel touches the ground, a blue light spreads across the area, covering everything. Then Leon continues, "I am Leon Frontera, a civil engineer, and I'm about to change this world forever. Things are going to happen here that no one could have ever imagined. I will transform this world permanently." As he says this, the vast empty land in front of him starts to shift. The structures of buildings begin to appear. Within seconds, an entire city is formed. But it's not a real city, it's actually a 3D model. Seeing this, Leon is overwhelmed with joy. He turns to Javier and says, "Javier, can you see this?" Javier replies, "Yes, absolutely." Leon's face lights up with a big smile. Laughing loudly, he says, "This is my dream project. I have to complete it no matter what. This is not just a dream, it's a fortune. And I will get it." Just as he finishes speaking, a flashback begins. We go back to a few years ago. In a village, an alarm sounds from a system. A message appears on it, "Your wish has been granted. Give it a round of applause." Then we return to the present, and once again we see Saw Kim, though he still doesn't know that his name has changed to Leon Frontera. As he opens his eyes, a system window appears in front of him. The content on it changes and says, "You have become a character from Night of Blood." Hearing this, Saw Kim starts yelling, "Night of Blood? I know this. It's the novel I was reading last time. I must have fallen asleep while reading it." The system responds, "Well done. Since you recognized it, your journey here will be even more exciting." Hearing this, Leon starts to think, "What's going on? Am I dreaming? I didn't make any wish. Maybe I ate something weird while reading that novel and now I'm hallucinating. Or hungover. This has to be a dream." He waits for a few seconds, hoping to wake up, but nothing changes. Shocked, he gets up and says, "No. This isn't a dream. That means I've really entered another world. But why am I still lying on the ground? And why is my head buried in the sand?" As he stands up, he realizes he's on a road. His body isn't responding properly. His limbs are weak, and his whole body is trembling. His lips dry up, and his mouth stiffens. He says, "What's happening? My face. It's freezing. I can't move at all." The system explains, "Your jaw is slightly dislocated due to lying on the ground for too long. It's a minor injury and will heal." Seeing this message, Saw Kim becomes irritated. He lashes out and yells, "Stop your nonsense. I know what's going on." Trying to fix his jaw, he mutters, "As far as I remember from the story, only one character was found lying on the road with a dislocated jaw. His name was." Just then, a voice calls from behind, "Master Leon. So you're here. Do you know how long I've been searching for you?" A man approaches, carrying a sword. He's a soldier, tall, handsome, and confident. He says, "It's time. You must return with me." As Saw Kim looks at him, he's stunned. That's Javier. He looks exactly like the character from the novel. A powerful soldier assigned to protect the eldest son of the Frontera family, Leon Frontera. Which means the one Javier came looking for, Leon Frontera, is actually him. Then another realization hits him. I've entered the novel, but I'm not the main character. The real protagonist is Javier. I've been assigned a side character's role, one that wasn't even that important in the story. While Saw is lost in these thoughts, Javier has no clue what's going on. He simply stands there, looking at Leon and smiling. The scene then shifts to a grand castle, Leon Frontera's castle. Inside, Javier is setting up a chimney to warm the room. He says, "Do you really not remember how you ended up unconscious on the road?" Leon replies, "I told you. I don't remember anything. You tell me." Javier explains, "Yesterday morning, you caused chaos everywhere. You were drunk, breaking things like a thug. Then you ran away. It all happened because you drank too much. After that, the Lord ordered me to find you and bring you back. That's when I found you on the road." While Javier talks, Leon's attention shifts to the cold floor. The chimney is burning, yet the room isn't warming up. And since Leon is an engineer at heart, this bothers him. Javier notices and says, "You should rest now. I'll come see you tomorrow morning and explain everything that happened." Leon says, "Yes, that's right. It's your job to tell me everything." After this, Javier starts to leave, but Leon stops him and says, "Wait a minute. I need to ask you something. Is our family in heavy debt?" Javier responds, "Are you joking?" After saying this, Javier gets angry and walks away. Leon starts thinking, "I remember clearly reading the story of this exact place last night. After that, I read the entire novel till the end. I know exactly what happens with Leon Frontera at the end of this novel. By the time this story reaches its conclusion, Leon Frontera will have immense debt. They will lose all their land, and countless unjust conditions will be forced upon them. They will become slaves, and in the end, they will have no choice but to commit suicide. First, Leon Frontera's parents will commit suicide. And then, Leon will decide that he still wants to live, but not a good life, a life as a beggar, living in misery. He'll be addicted to alcohol, drowning his sorrows in it. Eventually, after drinking his life away, Leon Frontera will die alone, with no one around to care for him. As these memories flood his mind, Leon quickly stands up and says, "No, this can't happen. I won't let my life turn into that. I won't live like a beast, aimlessly, with no beginning or end. I don't want a stray death." At that moment, a screen appears, displaying, "Your wish has been accepted. You now possess the skill Absolute." Leon recalls seeing this skill before when he was unconscious. He mutters, "What kind of useless skill is this? Which wish did I make? Was this the wish that turned me into a side character in this novel?" Frustrated and confused, Leon becomes disheartened. The next day, we see two people entering his palace, his bodyguard and his mother. They both stand before him. His mother says, "What you did last night was completely unacceptable. We found out you caused a lot of damage at the pub, and that's not okay." Leon, looking completely exhausted and unaware of what happened, wonders, "I didn't do anything last night. I was reading that book, and then I ended up here." His mother insists, "This is your last chance. Please go to the pub and apologize to them." Leon, thinking, "Now I have to apologize for something I didn't even do," decides to comply. "Fine, I'll go and apologize," he says. Both the lady and Javier are shocked, as they didn't expect Leon to agree. Outside the castle, we see a village scene. It's daytime, and many people are working. As Leon and Javier approach, one villager notices them and quickly hides, trembling. For Javier, this is normal, but Leon doesn't understand. As they move forward, more people react the same way, running away as soon as they see Leon. Leon's gaze falls on a house where a child is peeking through the window. As soon as the child locks eyes with him, the mother quickly pulls the child inside and warns, "Don't look at that man again." She shuts the window, and a screen appears saying, "All the villagers fear you." Leon says, "Thanks, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now." He turns to Javier and asks, "Why are you following me? You don't need to stay with me. You can leave if you want." Javier responds, "No, I've been ordered by Lord to stay with you and make sure you don't repeat the actions from last night." Leon thinks for a moment and says, "So, you're here to watch me? Not to protect me, but to keep an eye on me?" Javier replies, "Yes, exactly. I'm here to protect the villagers from you. They may be in danger because of you." Leon reflects, "So, everyone here is afraid of me. They see me as a thug." He thinks to himself, "Well, I'll first have to change their perception. I need to show them that I've changed, that I'm not a bad person. But that's not the most important thing. What matters most is getting rid of my family's debts. If they still think of me as a gangster, it won't matter. Once I clear my debts, my life will be like heaven. I'll be able to live a good life here." Turning to the system, Leon asks, "Can you help me? Do I have any cheat skills like in a novel or game?" A screen appears with the following message, "You have 2 skills, Human Escape, when used, the opponent's body shrinks, and Rowdy Junkyard, when used, your brain stops functioning, making you a complete fool." Leon looks at the screen and says, "What kind of nonsense skills are these?" He waves his hand around as the screen fades away. Looking at this, Javier says, "Master Leon, what happened to you? What kind of behavior is this? There is no pub here, we need to go in this direction. Could it be that everything you said about going inside the pub and asking for forgiveness was a lie?" Leon replies, "No, absolutely not. I am coming with you, I just started thinking for a moment." Javier doesn't believe Leon's words at all. He starts glaring in that direction. Leon asks, "Why are you staring at me like that? Don't you trust me?" Javier quickly responds, No, that's not it. Let's move ahead." They reach a shop and ask if it's the same pub. As soon as Leon enters the pub, Javier gets suspicious. Until now, he had thought Leon would do something to avoid asking for forgiveness, but now that Leon has entered the pub, it seems he really came here to apologize. But this doesn't feel like Leon's behavior. He never apologizes after making a mistake. Inside the pub, there's chaos. Everything is broken. Seeing this, Leon quickly bows his head in front of the pub owner and says, "Please forgive me, I did all of this. I remember coming here last night, and I was completely out of control. That's why everything went wrong." Upon hearing this, the pub owner gets scared and doesn't feel good. He's now afraid that Leon might be up to something, and something bigger might be coming. He says, "Master Leon, there's no need to apologize like this." But Leon, realizing that the owner thinks he's being overly polite, decides to change his tone. He says with a bit more arrogance, "I came here to apologize. Will you forgive me, or should I just leave? Honestly, your forgiveness doesn't matter much to me." The pub owner doesn't like Leon's way of apologizing, but his fear has subsided. He now feels that he can speak his mind, and says, "All right, there's no need to apologize like this." With that, he makes a nasty face, and Leon realizes that the owner is done with him. It's clear, there's no point in staying here anymore, and it's time to leave. Later, Leon and Javier are walking down the street, and Leon is still puzzled. He says to Javier, "What happened? I went to apologize to the owner, but even then, he wasn't happy. He was talking to me with an attitude." Javier replies, "Yeah, that was bound to happen. Last night, you ruined his furniture and wrecked his shop. You know, he had expensive furniture in there, and now he'll have to work hard to collect everything. Just your apology isn't going to satisfy him. If you really want to make up for it, you'll have to give him something in return." Hearing this, Leon's face falls. He thinks to himself, "Give him something? I already have a world of debt on my head, and now I'm supposed to take on another? No, I don't have the capacity for this. Let him believe what he wants. If he doesn't accept my apology, it doesn't matter much." Javier continues, "And by the way, the owner's mother has been very sick for a long time. He's been struggling to figure out how to treat her. But because of the destruction you caused in his shop, he won't be able to prepare for her treatment. I don't think he'll be able to afford her medical care anymore." But Leon isn't focused on this. Instead, he's thinking, "I remember the table I woke up on this morning. The floor of my room was still cold. There's not even a proper chimney in the room to warm it up. The key is the Andon stones I use at home to trap heat. The people here don't know that these stones can store heat and warm up quickly." With that idea in mind, Leon pauses, and a strange structure forms in his mind. He continues thinking, "The technology from the world I came from is far ahead of this one. I know a lot about that technology. What if I tell people here about it? Once I invent it, I'll get all the credit and money, solving both my problems. I'll gain respect, and along with that, money. The image of me being a thug here will disappear, and everyone will think I'm intelligent. I'll make everyone believe that the previous master, Leon, was a fool, and that Saw Kim is the true hero." Leon continues, "Back in my world, I was an army engineer, and my main job was to build houses on my own. I knew many methods for creating houses, and I believe my engineering knowledge will definitely come in handy here. This way, I can pay off all the debts I have." After this, Leon tells Javier, "Javier, hurry up and come with me. We need to go back to the pub." Javier asks, "Why? What's left now?" Leon replies, "Just come, and I'll explain everything on the way." At this moment, Leon sees a screen window pop up with a message, "Your journey truly begins now. For every relationship you build with people, you will earn relationship points. Right now, you have 0 relationship points, as you don't have a good relationship with any villagers." Leon looks at the window and thinks, "These relationship points are like experience points. I don't think they'll have any major use. From what I understand, I need to make the best possible relationships with everyone here to gather these points." Suddenly, another screen window appears, showing the following message, "These are the RP points for your character. Based on these, your character's traits will be defined." After seeing this, Leon looks toward Javier. Behind Javier, another screen shows, "Your approval, -30. This means Javier has absolutely no respect for Leon. He's merely working with Leon, just like everyone else, and thinks of him as a worthless person. Seeing this, Leon's face falls. He starts to think, "What is happening? My bodyguard, who has been with me for so long, thinks this badly of me? I can't believe this, it can't get worse than this." Then Javier says, "Yes, Mr. Leon." Hearing this, Leon tries to impress Javier a bit. He praises him, saying, "You are very handsome, and we've been with me for a long time. Thank you for that." In response, Javier just says, "Yeah, I know," and leaves it at that. His expression doesn't change, and Leon notices that his RP points have dropped by another point, from -1 to -2. Leon starts thinking, "What's going on? I complimented him, and my points are still decreasing. I guess I should stop trying so hard. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me. If I keep rushing things here, everything will just get worse." Next, we return to the scene in the pub where Leon caused havoc the previous night. Leon is holding a contract that says he will handle the construction in exchange for the damage he caused. He shows it to the owner and says, "Hurry up and sign this, and I'll start the construction work." Leon says this with a big smile, but the pub owner has doubts. He doesn't trust Leon, thinking that the little bit left of the pub will be ruined by Leon as well. While the owner is thinking this, an odd light starts emanating from his body, visible to Leon. Leon wonders, "What's going on? I'm trying to talk to him, but his points are still decreasing." Then another screen window shows up, revealing, "The owner is using a skill called Stone Will Heart, which makes it impossible for you to soften his heart no matter what you do." Hearing this, Leon thinks, "No, this can't be happening. I can't give up so easily. I just started my plan, and I can't back down before it even begins. I'll have to use my skills. With that, Leon makes a strange face and glares at the owner, saying, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trusting you. I want to construct this place with my own money. You just need to sign. Trust me, it will be good for you. Leon's tone shifts, and now he's almost demanding, sign it, now. The owner had the option to sign or not, but now, under pressure, he signs the contract with trembling hands. As he does, Leon's face lights up with a victorious smile, and he quickly leaves with the contract, saying, I've got my first target. Later, Leon tells the owner, you did well by trusting me. You won't regret it. At that moment, Javier looks at Leon suspiciously. A little later, we see the two of them behind the pub in an empty space, where Leon is holding a large shovel. He looks around and thinks, I don't need to overthink the measurements here. I'm sure what I've planned will work out just fine. Suddenly, Javier speaks up, Master Leon, I need to talk to you. Leon replies, yeah, go ahead. Javier asks, what is all this? What are you trying to do here? You forced the pub owner to sign the contract. Is this some new way of ruining the reputation of the Frontra family? Are you planning to harass the people living here in some new way? Leon responds, have you ever heard of cognitive dissonance? Javier asks, what's cognitive dissonance? Leon explains, you could think of it as a kind of sickness. The people here have all developed a specific perspective of me, where they either think everything I do is wrong or right. I'm trying to fix this, and I'm using whatever means I can. Javier replies, you think it's that easy? Over the years, people have built their own experiences with you. The image you've created in the minds of these villagers isn't going to disappear easily. You'll have to work hard to clean up your image. Leon confidently says, I'm going to do it, and I'll show you that soon enough, my image will be cleaned up in their minds. Javier starts to trust Leon a little more after hearing this. Leon continues, I'm going to do a lot for these people. They'll be happy with me. By the way, you told me earlier about the pub owner's mother being very sick. I want to help them out and bring a little happiness to their lives. With these big words, Leon starts working. He drives his shovel into the ground, but then his expression changes completely. He thinks to himself, I don't care if these people are happy or not. This is just a way for me to make money. In the beginning, I'll make them happy, but later, I'll take all their money. Once I've got enough, I'll live a good life, and I won't have to do what happened to the characters in those novels. After a few hours, Leon had cleared a large area of land with much effort. He then started constructing the framework for the house. Despite all his hard work, he had earned quite a lot from this project. The walls surrounding the area were up, and only the roof remained. However, Leon was completely exhausted. He laid down at one spot, saying to himself, I'm an engineer, so I know how to do things the right way. But I'm no laborer. Doing all this is harder than I thought. When I was in the military, I could do it all with ease, but now, my body is just too weak. It's only been a few hours of work, and I already feel like I'm half dead. At that moment, Javier's voice interrupted, this house is very weak. It won't last long if you keep it like this. Leon was startled. He quickly got up, saying, what are you talking about? I've built this house very strong. I've put in a lot of hard work. Javier thought for a moment, realizing Leon had truly put in effort. He thought, he's serious about improving his image in front of the villagers. Everything he says must be true. Leon got up again, his legs shaking from fatigue. Still, he declared, I can't rest for much longer. I need to finish this work as soon as possible. He grabbed an axe and swung it at a piece of wood. But his body was so drained that he missed the target and began to fall backward. Just then, a hand reached out to catch him. It was Javier, who steadied him. He then took the axe from Leon's hand, saying, let me know what to do with this piece of wood. Leon, despite his exhaustion, pointed to the wood and said, I just want you to cut these pieces into even, flat sizes. He gestured with his hands, indicating the size he wanted. Javier quickly went to work, swinging his axe with incredible speed. Before the pieces of wood even hit the ground, they were chopped into smaller pieces, all perfectly sized as Leon had requested. Seeing this, Leon stood there, amazed. He thought, this is incredible. Just like the novel described, Javier really is a master swordsman. He has all the qualities of a true swordsman. Leon walked over to Javier and said, Javier, you helped me a lot. I was wondering, since you're already helping me, would you mind helping with one more task? I need to do some digging. Javier, not pleased by the request, thought to himself, what a horrible person. I'm just trying to help, and now he wants me to do even more for him. I can't trust this guy anymore. Leon continued, I know you've been watching me work for a while now. You must know I'm serious about all of this. I want the villagers to be happy with me, and I think you want the same. So help me finish this job quickly, and together we can get it done. Javier, though frustrated, knew he had no choice. He thought, this guy has changed. But some things never change. He used to ask for my help with bad things, and now it's for good. Maybe I'll help him finish this quickly, so I can find out if what he's doing is right or wrong. Leon and Javier continued working together. They dug a strong foundation for the house to ensure it would be as sturdy as possible. After some time, the house was finally ready. Leon looked at it, satisfied, and said, finally, the construction is complete. Javier asked, what's the meaning of those symbols you've written on it? Leon replied, those aren't just words, they're symbols. They'll be placed on everything I build. Think of them as our brand logo. That way, everyone will know who built this. Leon quickly decided, enough talk. I need to go show the pub owner what I've made. I'm sure he'll be really happy. After a short while, everyone was inside the new house. The fire in the chimney kept the house warm, and the floor heated up quickly. The pub owner and his mother lay on the warm floor, their faces full of joy. The pub owner's mother said, this is amazing. I've never felt so comfortable. The pub owner was confused, wondering how the floor had become so warm. He had no idea materials like these could be used inside a house. He couldn't help but praise Leon. Seeing this, Leon smiled to himself, thinking, this is great. They're happier than I expected. I used an ondal floor here, which heats up quickly. For them, it's like magic. The pub owner then turned to Leon and said, young Master Leon, thank you so much. I haven't seen my mother this happy in a long time. This is all because of you. Javier, watching all this, was surprised. He thought, it's working. The pub owner and his mother are truly happy. As Leon Frontera had mentioned, today, I saw a completely different side of him. Until now, he had never tried to put any effort into helping others, but today, he built an entire house. 2 people are incredibly happy today because of him, and that's a huge achievement for him. Leon Frontera had never thought about making anyone else happy in his past life. Yet, in just a few days, there has been such a transformation in him that 2 people are extremely happy because of his efforts. I have a feeling something's off here. After this thought, Javier once again sees the owner and his mother, both filled with joy. Javier, too, smiles widely as he watches them. He thinks, whatever the reason for this change in Leon, it's a good one. At that moment, Leon notices something on his screen, a window that reads, Javier now thinks less poorly of you. RP points have increased by 2, now at -29. Additionally, because of the happiness you've brought to these 2 people, you have earned a total of 36 RP points. Seeing this, Leon glances at Javier and says, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, finally, this trash has improved. This garbage has really changed. Javier doesn't respond to this and turns away. Then, Leon switches to business mode. He thinks, I've lost a lot in this project since I've put all the necessary resources into building this house. But that's okay, it's my first construction. I'll get more orders from this, and I'll recover the losses. He adds, since this is my first house, I'm going to use it for advertisement. A few days later, we see Leon continuing as usual. The house is now being used as an advertisement, with a long line of people waiting outside. But this time, Leon isn't forcing anyone, it's happening at the pub owner's request. One by one, people are entering the house and enjoying the warmth inside. They have no idea that the heat can be controlled this way. For them, entering this house is a unique experience. When they leave, everyone is in a good mood, with one man saying, it feels amazing inside. My fatigue is completely gone. This motivates even more people to enter. At this time, we see Leon setting up a table nearby and quickly talking to a man, look at this house. How would it feel if you had a house like this? I can build one for you. Leon shows him 2 structures, and the man realizes that the foundation they were digging wasn't just a foundation, it was part of a chimney. They leave space for a chimney below the floor, which heats the entire house. Leon continues, I can either build a new house for you or renovate your existing one. If you say yes now, I'll give you a 10% discount. However, the villager doesn't trust Leon and refuses outright. Leon's face drops. He says, trust me a little. How will you benefit if you don't? Look at this house. The construction rates I'm offering are the lowest possible. It doesn't get any cheaper than this. Leon keeps trying to convince the villager, but he refuses to budge. Just then, someone else enters the scene. A voice calls out, Leon, what are you doing? It's Leon's father, Arcus Frontera, who, like many others, thinks poorly of him and considers him useless. He has rated Leon with -20 points, believing his son is a failure. Later, we see the Frontera mansion, where Leon is sitting with his father. The gap between them is as vast as the sky and the earth. Leon looks at his father and wonders, he brought me here, but will he stop me from completing my building projects? That would ruin all my plans. Arcus speaks, what's this I'm hearing? What kind of trouble have you caused in the village? What's this new way you've found to annoy people? Leon thinks, I should respond normally, like I always do, and says rudely, the pub owner asked for a house, so I built it for him. Arcus replies, what about those who insisted you stop building for them, and you kept pushing them to let you build for them? Leon responds, that's nothing. Just wait and watch what I do next. Arcus warns, Leon, I won't tolerate your actions anymore. You've already ruined enough. I've been putting up with your behavior for too long, but not anymore. Leon replies, don't worry, everything I'm doing has been carefully thought out. Leon speaks with full confidence, saying, I can do this. But in his mind, there's a different story playing out. He had imagined that once he built his first house, a line of orders would follow. However, the reality is far from that. No one in the village trusts him enough to let him build their houses. Leon can feel the weight of failure. He's wondering how he can get out of this mess as quickly as possible. Thinking about it, he stands up and says, I have a lot of other things to do. I should probably leave. With that, he starts to walk away. At that moment, Arcresh interrupts, saying, Leon, I think I'm starting to understand what you're trying to do. You see the situation with our family clearly. Your eyes are open to everything, but now, listen to me carefully. Our family is in a terrible situation right now. We're in trouble. But I promise you, soon, I'll get us all out of this. You don't have to do anything to fix things. I'm your father. I can handle everything. Leon didn't expect to hear these words, but he had heard them before. This exact line had been spoken to him once before, by his real father, in the original world. It was there that his father had told him, you don't need to worry. I'll take care of your school fees and all your education. Everything will be taken care of. Just focus on your studies, complete them well, and become a good person. As these memories flood Leon's mind, he begins to think, I made a mistake before. I didn't value the support I had, and that's why I lost everything and ruined it all. But now, I won't let anything fall apart. At least now, I won't lack money in this life. In the last episode, we saw that Leon had built an impressive house, one that stays warm from the inside. Curious onlookers started visiting the place, intrigued by this unusual construction. And every time someone stepped out of the house, Leon would begin promoting his company. But despite all his efforts, things didn't really go as planned. People were initially impressed with the house, but the moment they saw Leon standing outside, their mood flipped. That's because none of them trusted Leon, not even a little. The trust level was literally zero. Just then, Leon's father, Arcus, arrived on the scene. He grabbed Leon and took him inside their palace. Once there, he calmly tried to explain, Leon didn't need to do anything reckless. Their family had faced countless threats before, and it wasn't Leon's job to fix them. Arcus said he would handle everything, and the family would stabilize soon. Hearing this reminded Leon of his real father in the original world. That man used to say the exact same thing to him. As Leon prepared to leave, he reassured Arcus, you don't need to worry at all. As long as I'm here, no harm will come to you. I'll fix everything. Leon, who is actually Sao, then thought to himself, I wish I had said something like this to my real father back then. I didn't have the courage at the time to tell him I'd handle everything. But I won't make that mistake again. I've said it now. And I'll follow through. He walked out of the palace, feeling that things were finally on track. He remembered how he had received several orders when people saw his prototype house. He had offered to build similar houses for those people, and he managed to secure 32 orders for Style A homes, fully constructed from scratch. Along with that, he got 57 orders for Style B, homes that required renovation to make them warmer. Leon had already collected partial payments as token money, which was enough to start the construction process smoothly. The required resources were also expected to come in from those clients. As he walked along, thinking all this through, two well-dressed men appeared in front of him. From the look of them, they were landowners, and quite wealthy too. They walked right past Leon without so much as acknowledging his presence. Leon found it odd. They are in my territory. I'm the prince of the Frontra family, he thought. And still, they didn't greet me? That's insulting. He glanced at them again, narrowing his eyes. Wait a minute, are they who I think they are? We then cut to Arcus' office, where these two landowners barged in. One of them snapped at Arcus, how much longer are you going to take? We paid you a long time ago. Your time is up. The other added, exactly. We gave you 5 days, and they're over. Now tell us, how do you plan to return our money? Their tone grew aggressive. Don't try to keep quiet again. If you do, we'll be forced to take action. Arcus had no response. He sat silently, listening. The first landowner mocked him. What happened to you, Arcus? Where's that bold talk from before? Staying quiet won't help now. One way or another, you'll have to return our money. He pointed at the Grand Palace, saying, you've got this massive place. Sell a few things if you have to. You'll easily make enough to pay us back. Outside, Leon was watching everything through the gate. But he wasn't upset. A small smile formed on his face. Perfect timing, he thought. That smile turned into something darker, an evil smirk. Now that both of them are here, I can finally get to work. A few minutes later, Leon was calmly sitting in his room. In front of him, a screen appeared. You currently have 36 RP points. Leon thought to himself, that's a pretty good number. Most of it came thanks to Javier. His negative feelings toward me have softened. I even got some RP points from that pub owner and his mother. But now he faced a new question. What should I do with these points? How do I use them? Just then, another screen appeared. You can use these points to learn a skill. Leon sighed. System, you were really just waiting for me to ask, weren't you? You should have told me this earlier. Suddenly, another window popped up. Don't try to tell me how to do my job. I know exactly when to give you information. If you are not happy, do it all yourself. Leon panicked. No, don't say that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I talk too much in the heat of the moment. Please, forgive me. Fortunately, the system calmed down. A glowing orb formed around Leon, scanning his body. During the scan, it turned out that Leon already had a few skills, ones that came from his engineering knowledge back in the original world. But Leon wasn't impressed. These are all basic. I don't need a system to learn them. I already know this stuff, he said. Irritated, he told the system, stop showing me skills I already have. Show me something useful. The system prompts Leon, based on your current knowledge, you have two skill options available. The first is basic surveying, which requires 15 RP points, and the second is basic design, which requires 20 RP points. Seeing this, Leon starts thinking, I've got two skill options, but I have no idea what they'll do for me. Well, whatever, let's just learn both. Without overthinking, Leon clicks on both skill options. As soon as the skill learning process begins, intense pain shoots through his eyes. A green light emerges from them. He quickly runs to the window and looks outside. To his surprise, the entire area appears to be scanning itself in real time. This is Leon's basic surveying skill, which allows him to scan and analyze a block of land in detail. After witnessing its effect, he returns to his room to check out the second skill, basic design. This ability lets him create architectural designs in the air using just his hands. With this skill, designing any building becomes a breeze. Leon can now create full 3D structures midair with ease. These two skills bring a wide smile to his face. He thinks to himself, both of them are incredible. With these, I can get so many tasks done faster. Normally, it would take a long time to create such designs. Now, it'll take me far less. But just a few minutes later, Leon starts feeling anxious again. Sitting down, he ponders, sure, I've learned these new skills, but what exactly am I going to do with them? For now, I only have Xavier helping me, and he doesn't even think that highly of me. With just his help, how much construction can I really do? Leon realizes he needs some sort of construction vehicle or machinery to speed up the process. He wishes he could use one of his skills to summon a construction machine. Right at that moment, the system beeps. Would you like to summon someone to help you? It asks. Shocked, Leon turns toward the system. Wait, is that really possible? Yes, the system replies. You just need to spend RP points. If you spend the correct amount, you can summon a partner who will assist you. Leon frowns, annoyed. This is ridiculous. Everything with you is about buying things. This feels like an ad. Now you are trying to sell me a partner? The system interface changes, and a new message appears. You will receive a random item or partner. Each scroll costs 50 RP points. Hearing this, Leon's face falls flat. Are you serious? He mumbles. I only have 50 RP points left, just one shot. He starts imagining what kind of summon he might get. What if it's a powerful dragon, a beast, or even a flying unicorn-type monster? If that happens, he could use them like machines to help with construction. They could even be useful in other areas. Fired up by the thought, Leon's eyes light up. A new goal takes shape in his mind. I need to gather as many RP points as I can. And to do that, I have to improve my reputation in front of everyone. Cut to the next scene. We return to the office, where two arrogant nobles are pestering Arcus. One of them sneers, Arcus, I know you are broke. Your silence said it all. So let me offer a suggestion, and you will accept it. He smirks, I've heard you have several maids, and your wife too. Why don't you send them to my estate? You clearly don't have the money to take care of them. I promise, I'll treat them well. Hearing this, Arcus's rage boils over. How dare you talk about the women in my house like that? Just because I owe you some money doesn't give you the right to insult my family. At that moment, Leon enters the room with a small bag in hand. Without hesitation, he walks up and places his hand on the sleazy noble's shoulder. Disgusted, the noble shoves him away. "Hey! Who the hell are you? Don't try to get touchy with me." Arcus quickly responds, "Leon, why are you here?" Hearing the name, the noble is surprised. "So you're Leon Frontera, huh? I've heard all about you, the useless son of Arcus." He continues arrogantly, "Do you even know who we are? You are not even worthy to touch us. This is an important discussion. You shouldn't be here. Leave now, or you might be punished." Leon calmly replies, "Hold on a second. I'll be punished? For being in my own house? This is my office. You are the ones who barged in uninvited. So tell me, do you have an appointment letter?" The moment they heard that, both of the landlords' faces fell within a second. They immediately asked for the appointment letter. Leon replied bluntly, "You clearly don't know anything. You are such fools. This is the Frontera family's house. We are the noblemen of this village. No one has the right to enter Frontera house without our permission." He continued, "And yet you dared to walk in. Article 6 clearly states that no one is allowed to enter a nobleman's home in this village without an invitation. Not just that, you can't speak to a nobleman in the tone you've used with us. The way you've spoken to us is more than enough to land you in serious trouble." One of the landlords protested, "What are you talking about? There's no such law. We never heard of this anywhere." Leon replied coldly, "Oh really? So you've never seen the rule, and now that means it doesn't exist? Wait right here, I'll show you." He called out, "Javier, come in." Javier entered the office, carrying his sword. At that very moment, Leon's iconic evil smile crept onto his face. He said, "Javier, step forward," and cut off their hands. Without a second's hesitation, Javier began to approach the two men. He didn't care what was right or wrong. Leon had ordered an attack, so he followed. Seeing this, the landlord started panicking. "Wait, what are you doing? You can't attack us just because he told you to." One of them pleaded, "We are just here to talk, and now you want to cut off our hands? This is completely unjust. This is wrong." Leon replied coldly, "Right or wrong? We'll figure that out soon. Javier, don't stop. Cut off both their hands. We'll deal with the consequences later." At that, Javier fully drew his sword. His face stayed expressionless, which only terrified the landlords even more. Within seconds, their fear overwhelmed them, and they bolted for the door. While running away, one of them yelled back, "Don't think you've won today, Leon. You insulted us, and we will take revenge. You will pay for this." The second landlord chimed in, "Yes. He will regret this. Today's actions will come back to haunt him." The door slammed shut behind them. The landlords had run off. That was exactly what Leon wanted, to scare them off. He then turned to Javier and said, "Well done." Leon hoped his father would now be impressed by him, but what happened next was the opposite. Arcus, his father, started scolding them. "Leon, Javier, do you two even realize what you've done? Do you know how powerful those landlords are?" He paused for a second, then added bitterly, "They're scum. But still, today's actions will cost us a heavy price." At that moment, Leon placed a sack full of coins on Arcus's desk. "I was going to give you this later, once I completed all the orders," Leon said. "But I think now is the right time. With this money, you can easily cover the monthly interest." Arcus was shocked. "Where did this money come from? Don't tell me you extorted it from the villagers." "Leon, that would be absolutely disgusting. You must return it immediately." But Javier quickly intervened. "Master Arcus, that's not the case. Master Leon earned this money responsibly. He accepted a mission and received an advance for it. I'm with him, and I'll make sure he fulfills every part of that responsibility." Hearing this, Arcus's expression changed completely. Leon noticed it immediately. How interesting, Leon thought. All it took was one word from Javier, and father's whole attitude flipped. He trusts Javier more than his own son. Leon and Javier left the room. Outside, Javier asked, "How did you know about that rule?" "Article 6 is hidden at the very end of the rulebook. That means you must have read the whole thing." "But I've never seen you read a book in your life." Leon smirked. "You don't need to think too much. I just happened to hear about it somewhere." But in truth, Leon hadn't just heard about it. He had read it, in the original novel. If the story had followed the novel perfectly, that rule would have played a major role later on, when Leon's parents commit suicide. After that, Javier would be standing over their lifeless bodies when the two landlords returned again. They would try to take the bodies away, so they could sell the organs to pay off their debts. That would have been the most wild act these landlords had ever committed in the entire series. Javier would be enraged and remind them of Article 6. He would say, Article 6 exists, which means scumbags like you can't accuse noblemen or disrespect them. You dared to talk about selling their organs, that's a crime. And then, with one swift strike, Javier would cut off both of their heads. Of course, a long court case would follow, but Javier would be acquitted, because Article 6 did exist. Leon smiled just thinking about it. This story is going to change completely moving forward, he thought. The plot may not be the same anymore, but the content still is, and I can use that knowledge to my advantage, just like I'm about to right now. He looked up. Any second now, a system screen should appear. And right then, a glowing screen popped up in front of him. It said, "You've been awarded 60 RP points. Your total is now 61. As soon as Leon sees it, a big smile spreads across his face. He says, "So this means my plan is working perfectly. Now, if I want, I can summon it right here." A few moments later, the scene shifts. It's now completely dark, and we are inside a field that can barely be called a backyard anymore. Leon stands in the middle of the ground, scanning his surroundings. There's no one here. It's pitch dark. I can finally begin the process, he says. It's time to summon the monster. System, initiate the summoning. Right after Leon's command, a digital screen appears in front of him. It reads start in big bold letters and states, to summon, 50 IP points will be consumed. Without hesitation, Leon taps the start button. A bright light flashes at the summoning point. Slowly, something starts to appear. It begins to take shape and swirl, forming a code-like chart. Leon watches in awe. This is amazing. So this is how the summoning process works? Looks like I'm about to summon something epic. But then suddenly, those huge mechanical gears on the screen start shrinking rapidly. Leon's smile fades. What's happening? Everything's getting so small. That must mean, whatever creature gets summoned will also be tiny. This is useless. Just then, strange noises start coming from inside the gear. Leon becomes alert. What kind of sound is that? If someone hears it, they'll definitely come here. Suddenly, something pops out of the gear. It's a cute little face. Leon stares at it silently for a few seconds. The next moment, the creature drops to the ground with a soft thud. It looks like some sort of mouse. It giggles and looks up at Leon, who is now wearing a totally unimpressed expression. This is what I was waiting for? The creature I was so excited to summon? Hearing this, the mouse-like creature's eyes well up with tears, but Leon couldn't care less. He turns to leave. Seeing this, the little creature starts screaming. Stop yelling. You are not useful to me at all, Leon says. You are not what I needed. Just then, an idea hits him. Wait, before I leave, maybe I should at least test it out. Who knows, it might turn out to be useful. He walks back to the creature. You don't look like you'll be helpful, but fine, I'll give you one chance. Prove your worth to me. Show me what you can do. Hearing this, the creature fiddles inside its mouth for a second. And then spits something out, a few tiny pieces of paper. Leon picks them up. One is a user manual, and the other is a small pouch. He reads the manual. Turns out, the creature's name is Pop Ding, and it's categorized as an adorable monster that requires a lot of care. It also comes with special seeds you can use at specific stations. If you feed it a red seed, Pop Ding will transform into its biggest form for 12 hours. The size won't shrink until the effect wears off. If you want to shrink it back early, you'll need to feed it a blue seed, but that only works if it recently consumed a red one. Each pair of seeds costs 1 RP point. After reading the manual, Leon turns to the hamster. So technically, I can increase your size as much as I want, but I want to test how big you actually get with just one seed. What do you think your max size could be? Ray, so tiny right now, maybe you'll grow to the size of a human at best? The hamster doesn't respond. Why am I even asking you? I'll just check for myself. Leon feeds the red seed to the hamster. If this thing really grows as much as it says, maybe it'll actually be useful. If not, then it's just trash. As he thinks this, the hamster suddenly chomps down the entire seed in one bite. Its body starts to glow, light radiating from within. In one quick surge, it begins growing rapidly. It bumps into Leon with force, sending him flying back. He lands at a distance, shocked. The creature now towers above him. Its height? Over 20 feet. Earlier it looked cute. Now it looks terrifying and powerful. At that moment, a system window pops up again. It says, this creature has a skill, dig. Current skill level, 1. Leon quickly says, hamster, use your dig skill. Show me what you've got. Right after that command, Bob Ding begins to dig furiously into the ground. Leon's screen flashes with another skill window, revealing a new ability, Packing Dot, which is at level 2. Intrigued, Leon immediately checks it out. Upon using the skill, Protum begins to return to the ground, forming a layer-like structure. This skill can be used to flatten the terrain. After that, a third skill appears on the screen, named Cheek Pocket, at level 1. Leon realizes this skill is like a truck. It allows Protum to store as much material as it wants inside its mouth and then transport it. For example, after digging up dirt, Protum stores the earth inside its mouth and, with a simple gesture from Leon, spits it out with great force, creating a massive mud ball that crashes to the ground. Seeing these 3 abilities, Leon becomes ecstatic. He thinks, this is my jackpot. 3 different machines in one. I can use these skills in so many ways. Later, Leon returns to his palace and starts thinking, now I have my own monster, whose size I can increase. There are many uses for it, but there's still a problem. When it's in its small form, it won't be useful to me. And when I increase its size, everyone will see it. That could be dangerous. If people find out I have a monster, I'll be in serious trouble. An idea strikes Leon. I can solve this. I'll carry a book with me. Since the monster's size is small, I can take out the book whenever I need to use its size and make it look like I'm casting a magic spell. The monster will appear, and everyone will think it's some magical beast that came from my skill. They'll believe it's my power, and my respect in this place will grow. This could also earn me more RP points. He chuckles to himself, impressed with his cleverness. I'm so smart. In just 1 second, I found a solution to such a big problem. Now, it's time to get to work on my construction projects. I have a lot of responsibilities and I need to complete them. The next morning, we see the scene in the village by the riverbank. There's an empty space where Leon stands before 30 soldiers. He calls out to them, repeat after me, safety first. Leon shouts with full energy, but the soldiers respond with weak voices. Only 2 or 3 of them repeat the line. Leon thinks, these soldiers are pathetic. They get paid, but they don't do anything. They've become so lazy. He realizes he needs to get them in line. I should praise myself again, he thinks. These soldiers work for the Frontiera family. There hasn't been any attack on us for a long time, and that's why they've become useless. I talked to my father and had them work for me. I don't even need to pay them salaries anymore. Their salaries will be cut based on their performance. This way, the construction costs will be lower. Leon says, soldiers, listen up. We need to work with full energy. That's why I didn't hire regular workers. Soldiers have the passion that other workers don't. Now look over there, you'll see a sand pile. I gathered all the sand myself before you arrived. It shows how fast I work. In reality, Leon didn't do it himself. It was actually Protum who did the work the previous night. This extra sand is what the monster couldn't store in its mouth. Leon continues, now, I'm going to assign you your first task. We're here to do construction, and the first thing we need is an empty space. Clear the extra sand. We need to remove all the sand so we can build the foundation of each house here. This sand must be moved to another location. Hearing this, the soldiers groan in frustration, making faces of dismay. Leon, seeing this, thinks, these soldiers are all so unmotivated. If I say anything else, they'll probably just give up and make my life even harder. Just then, a new figure approaches. Master Leon, can you hear me? The person calls out. It's Norman, the senior soldier, and the highest-ranking knight of the Frontiera family. The family has 3 main knights. Norman is the most senior, followed by Beria and Javier. In the future, during the downfall of the Frontiera family, Norman will betray them and run off, leaking their secrets to enemies, increasing the family's debts. It can be said that Norman had a hand in the deaths of Leon's parents. When Leon sees Norman, he thinks to himself, I don't like his position. He doesn't deserve it. I need to get rid of him. Norman speaks up, Master Leon, you summoned both my army and me here, so what exactly do you need? Leon responds, Sir Norman, what do you think I'm here to do? Tell me what you expect of me, and I'll decide what to do next. Norman replies, I think I understand. You want us to do some labor, like workers in the mud. I want to make this clear, we are soldiers, not laborers. Giving us this kind of work is an insult to us. Hearing this, Leon pauses, thinking, insult? This guy doesn't remember when he was taking the Frontiera family's money all this time, without lifting a finger? Despite doing nothing, they still get paid regularly. Leon reflects on how much money they could save by reducing their expenses and using that money to manage the debt. But he snaps back to the present and says, I've already gotten permission from my father. Norman retorts, no, that's not enough. If you want to use my soldiers, you'll need my direct permission, and I won't give it to you. These soldiers are for fighting, not for your personal chores. Do you understand me? Leon responds, yes, you're right. But I don't like the way you are saying this. It seems like I need to teach you a lesson. With those words, Norman's anger flares up. A young boy is trying to teach me a lesson? Suddenly, Leon attacks. He swiftly swings his shovel and says, "Let's see how well I can teach you a lesson now. Get ready." The attack lands, but Norman blocks it effortlessly with his hand. The soldiers watch, realizing that Leon's attack had no effect, just some dirt falling on Norman. Leon wasn't really attacking Norman, he was insulting him, and Norman's anger grows stronger. Norman is furious. "You have no idea what you've done. I am a respected knight, and for you to throw dirt at me like this could bring you a punishment you can't imagine. Your life could be ruined by this." But inside his mind, Norman is also thinking, the Frontera family is doomed anyway. Their downfall is inevitable, and this foolish son is attacking everyone. If this continues, there will be no friends left. Leon, seemingly unfazed, says, "Well, you're a knight, right? How about we settle this the way knights do? Forget ranks, let's fight like normal people." Leon challenges, "I, Leon Frontera, challenge you to a fight." Norman, caught off guard, had no idea Leon was going to make such a move. Meanwhile, at Norman's castle, Leon discusses his plans with Javier. He tells Javier that the fight will happen in a month. Javier, with a tone of disbelief, asks, "You are challenging Norman? Do you think you can beat him? Are you really confident?" Leon scoffs, "What nonsense are you talking? Do you know who he is? Norman is a low-level sword expert, and he's ridiculously powerful. He could wipe me out in seconds. I wouldn't even be able to dodge a single attack. In front of him, I'm nothing. If I want to win, I need to figure out something else." Leon pauses for a moment, then turns to Javier, saying, "I need your help. Can you teach me how to use a sword in the next month?" Javier immediately refuses. "You are too pathetic. My job is to watch you, not teach you. Besides, no one can understand what's going on in that messed up head of yours. If I teach you sword skills, you'll misuse them. People know you are a danger, and I won't make you any more dangerous." Leon responds, "Oh, so you think you are being too open with me, huh? You are still my subordinate, but fine, if you don't want to teach me, I won't pressure you. But hear this, if you teach me, I could help you with your insomnia. I know about your condition." Javier, shocked, thinks, "How does he know about my condition? I haven't told anyone about it." Leon, with a knowing smile, continues, "You've got insomnia, right? I can help you with it. Don't worry about how I know, it's obvious from the way you look." Javier, unable to hide his surprise, knows that Leon isn't just some ordinary person. He must know everything, about the past, present, and future. Leon has read the entire novel, and he knows it all. In this world, sword experts are ranked in 4 levels, sword master at the top, high-level sword expert, mid-level sword expert, and low-level sword expert. Javier, a high-level sword expert, is incredibly powerful, but his senses are so heightened that he can't even sleep properly. This condition is tied to his power, and it has no known cure, unless he gives up his strength. Leon, however, decides not to reveal this truth to him. Leon, ever the strategist, says, "So, how about it? We make a deal. I'll help you with your insomnia, and in return, you teach me how to fight." Javier, still unsure, knows that Leon's challenge is far from over. Upon hearing this, Javier pauses for a few seconds, thinking, and then says, "All right, then, we'll give it a try." Upon hearing these words, Leon feels a surge of happiness and says, "Are you really ready for this?" Javier responds, "You don't need to be too excited. I'm pretty sure this won't last long, and you're going to fail." Hearing this, Leon gets even more pumped up and says, "Trust me, I'm not the type to lose. Whatever skills you have, I'm going to master them all. You'll teach me everything, one by one." The scene shifts to the next day. We see Leon's training has begun. Javier tells him, "Your first task is to run 50 laps around this entire ground." At this, Leon, still half asleep, reluctantly agrees and starts running. However, as Leon runs, his pace is very slow. Javier notices this and thinks, his speed is already so slow. Running 50 laps is going to take him the whole day. And I'm pretty sure he'll give up right here, and the training will end today. Despite this, Leon keeps going. After completing 1 lap, he approaches Javier and says, "Why are you making me run laps? Why not teach me some amazing skill that could be useful in a fight?" Javier doesn't respond and just signals Leon to keep running. Leon completes another lap, comes back, and says, "I know what you're up to. You want me to give up. You want me to quit so you don't have to train me. But I'm not going to fall for it. No matter what, I'm learning from you." Leon continues running. After finishing 50 laps, he approaches Javier and says, "See, I'm still not tired. After these 50 laps, I'll be ready for more training. No matter what, you can't shake me off." As he says this, Leon laughs loudly, but it's clear from his expression that he's exhausted and could collapse at any moment. Yet, Leon's determination remains unshaken. Javier, deep down, truly hopes that Leon will quit the training, but Leon proves to be smarter than Javier anticipated. Leon speeds up and says, "Watch me finish this training quickly. See how fast I complete these 50 laps now." Leon starts increasing his speed, thinking, this isn't so bad. Mentally, I can handle this. My body may be weak, but I've been through worse. Leon then starts recalling his memories of the normal world. In the past, Leon had lived in a tiny room, all alone. He was an orphan, and there was no one to welcome him or take care of him. His father, who had worked in the military, had passed away. Leon's father had been a construction worker, carrying bricks to the top of buildings for many years. Leon's life back then had been far worse, filled with constant labor and no hope for a break. Leon had worked tirelessly, unloading and loading materials for years, hoping that one day, he would find some relief. But that never came, and his life remained the same until he entered this novel world. The flashback ends, and we return to Leon, still running tirelessly. As he runs, he thinks, physically, I'm exhausted, but mentally, I'm stronger than ever. No matter how much pain I feel, I won't stop. This pain is nothing compared to the hardships I faced before. Javier watches from a distance, thinking, this guy is incredibly determined. I wanted to see how hungry he is for power, and now I know. Power is everything to him. Now, I'll teach him my sword fighting technique. At that moment, as Leon continues running, a system window suddenly appears, displaying the message, your approval rating has increased by 1 point. It is now at -28. Additionally, you've earned 18 RP points, bringing your total to 29 RP points. After this, we move to the Leahy Castle. Inside one of the offices, Norman has gone straight to Arcus, Leon's father, and tattled about everything. Hearing this, Arcus says, I never expected Leon to behave like this. He insulted you badly. Your family has worked with us for generations. Your father, his father before him, everyone has always been loyal to the Frontiera family. Despite that, treating you like this is absolutely unacceptable. I will definitely talk to him. The last time I spoke to Leon, I thought he had matured and become responsible. But maybe I was completely wrong. He still acts the same way, he doesn't think before doing anything, and he doesn't respect anyone. I know what you are hoping for, you don't want to fight Leon. But I have no right to stop it now. Since Leon challenged you and you accepted it in front of everyone, you must fight. However, because Leon is my son, I ask you to go easy on him. During the fight, you can attack him however you want, but promise me one thing, do not kill him. Beat him enough so that he comes back to his senses, understands that he cannot go around fighting everyone, and learns to respect those stronger than him. Hearing this, Norman nods and says, all right, Master. I will do exactly as you wish. A faint smile appears on Norman's face as he turns away. But deep inside, he thinks, Arcus, things won't go the way you imagine. When the fight begins, that day will be Leon's last. He is the last heir of the Frontiera family. First, I'll eliminate him. After that, I will target you and your wife. Once you both are gone, I'll fabricate evidence showing you both committed suicide. Then the entire Frontiera family, the castle, the village, everything will be under my control. I will become the new king here. Norman had been planning this for a long time but intended to execute it later. However, now, because of the current situation, he decides to speed up the plan. The day you die at my hands, the very next day I will eliminate your parents too, he thinks. The scene then shifts to 1 month later. Finally, the day has arrived for Leon and Norman's fight. Both are standing inside an arena. Leon holds his shovel, while Norman has his sword. Since this duel involves members of the royal family, a large crowd has gathered to witness it. Arcus is also present with his wife. Leon's mother looks extremely worried. She feels that although Norman appears loyal, if anything goes wrong during the fight, he could legally kill Leon without facing any consequences. Norman has complete freedom in this battle. Norman lifts his sword and asks, Leon, are you ready? Shall we begin? In response, Leon kicks his shovel into the air, catches it over his shoulder, and says, yes, let's start. I've been waiting a long time for this fight. After defeating you, I will prove my strength to everyone here. Seeing Leon's attitude, people in the crowd start murmuring. One man says, what is happening? Is Leon seriously planning to fight using a shovel? Does he actually think he can defeat a sword with that? Another comments, he can use any weapon he wants, but he won't be able to defeat Norman. Norman is just too powerful. A third person adds, I think Leon is just preparing excuses in advance. Later, he'll probably say he lost because he didn't have a proper weapon. Meanwhile, Norman feels mocked, but smiles slightly. This boy is overly confident. Does he really believe he can beat me with a shovel? At the side, Xavier observes everything carefully. He thinks, now I understand why Leon had called the blacksmith earlier. With the blacksmith's help, he crafted a special shovel made entirely of metal. Everyone here thinks the shovel is useless, but they are wrong. Even Arcus doubts Leon at this point and says to Xavier, what is going on? This boy is about to embarrass us in front of everyone. He treats this fight like a joke, thinking he can win using a shovel. But Xavier remains calm and thinks, no, this is not a joke. Leon has prepared for this fight. During the past month, while training with me, I saw his performance. His stamina is incredible. Despite having a weaker body, he completed every tough task I gave him. Normally, anyone else in his condition would have collapsed, but not Leon. Even after finishing construction work, when he was completely exhausted, he continued his sword training instead of resting. This has been his daily routine. So no, he isn't taking this fight lightly. In fact, today he is more serious than he has ever been. Arcus then announces, it is time to begin the fight. On one side, we have Leon Frontiera, and on the other, Norman. Let the fight begin. With those words, the battle officially starts. Both of them get into their fighting stances. Norman points his sword straight ahead, and Leon does the same with his shovel. This is actually a very special way of holding a weapon, something that only true warriors recognize. Javier starts thinking, how does Leon even know about this? This stance is called the luck star pose. By using it, Leon can significantly boost his luck, giving him an edge in the fight. At that moment, Norman charges toward Leon with his sword and says, so, you want to play the luck game here? Let's see how long you can survive. In response, Leon doesn't make any flashy moves. Norman spins his sword and strikes, but Leon instinctively blocks the attack. Norman's sword only collides with Leon's shovel. Leon successfully survives Norman's first attack, which shocks his father greatly. Norman growls, your luck won't hold for long. You blocked one attack, but the next one will be your defeat. At that moment, Leon finally spins his shovel with force, causing Norman's sword to recoil backward. Leon is using fighting techniques so strange and unfamiliar that no one has ever seen anything like them before. Fighting against him becomes extremely difficult. Even Javier is stunned, thinking, I don't understand. What kind of technique is Leon using? I never taught him anything like this. Heck, I've never seen such techniques myself. These kinds of moves aren't used in normal fights. The focus shifts back to the fighters. Leon is gripping his shovel like a gun. Looking at Norman's face, it's clear, fear has crept into his mind. The overconfidence Norman had is now shattered in just a second. Seeing this, Leon thinks, no one here knows about my techniques because they haven't even been invented yet. These are future techniques I learned during my military career. In Korea, every citizen undergoes at least 2 years of military training. Leon had received excellent training there. They were taught to hold guns this exact way and use hand-to-hand combat techniques just like this. Since Leon mastered that training, he knows many more moves, which is why he chose to fight with a shovel, a weapon he is extremely familiar with. Thinking this, Leon charges toward Norman again, attempting to thrust his shovel like a spear into Norman's stomach. Norman quickly dodges to the side, and his sword swings toward Leon's head. Leon uses his shovel to block the attack and thinks, I told you, didn't I? This shovel would come in handy. The front of the shovel is wide enough to use as a shield, and Leon has customized it perfectly. He even had the edge sharpened finely, enough to cut through trees easily. If it even grazes Norman, it would leave a deep wound. And that's not all. Leon jumps onto his shovel and starts bouncing around, using it like a pogo stick. This drastically increases his speed, confusing Norman even further. Leon laughs and says, you didn't expect attacks like this, did you? This isn't just any shovel. It's magic. You tell I'll be amazed by its powers. Leon deliberately tries to intimidate Norman, and it works. Norman grows even more terrified. Meanwhile, Javier watches from the sidelines, thinking, what did I teach him, and what is he doing in this fight? Getting frustrated, Norman lunges at Leon with a fierce sword attack. Seeing this, Leon immediately jumps off his shovel and stops bouncing around. He steps back and starts thinking, what preparations did I make to defeat Norman? First, his customized shovel, a weapon he knows perfectly. Second, the special skill taught by Javier during training. With that, Leon uses the skill mid-fight and launches a series of rapid attacks at Norman. Although none of the attacks hit directly, Norman starts panicking and stepping backward. With each passing second, his fear grows while Leon's attacks become faster and fiercer. Norman thinks, how is this possible? How did this boy's speed increase so much in just 1 month? His attacks are fast, and his strength has skyrocketed. If this continues, winning this fight will become nearly impossible. At this moment, we learn that Leon has gained a new skill called Shaveling, which is currently at level 1. While Leon was undergoing his 1-month training, he had unlocked this skill. With the help of this skill, his weapon and Shaveling are now connected. This means that whenever Leon uses any Shaveling technique during a fight, his stamina, speed, and overall abilities will slightly improve. The effects of this skill are now visible in this battle. To unlock the Shaveling skill, Leon had to spend a significant number of his RP points. While training under Javier's supervision, he earned additional approval points, and his parents were always keeping an eye on him. Despite all his mischievous actions, they could never stop looking after him. As they observed him working hard, their approval for him grew, earning him 2 and 3 extra points. This helped Leon accumulate a total of 97 RP points. Soon, a screen popped up, telling him that he could unlock a new skill called Shaveling for just 40 RP points. Without hesitation, Leon accepted the offer, gaining this powerful new skill, which he's now using in this fight. The flashback ends, and the fight resumes. Leon and Norman continue to battle. By now, Norman is getting frustrated. He thinks to himself, I never expected this kid to last so long in this fight. I usually don't use such powerful skills against civilians, but this kid has left me no choice. I'll have to use my full strength. Norman begins to unleash his powers, his body glowing with energy. Javier watches from afar and remarks, finally, Norman is using his special move in this fight. The energy within Norman's body gathers in his heart, and Leon realizes what's happening. So this is the skill everyone fears. It's called Sunmean. I've heard Norman can summon his heart's energy using this skill. As Norman completes the process, he looks at Leon and says, this fight is just beginning. Now that I've activated this skill, I'll finish it. Leon's expression shows concern, and his face tightens as Norman rushes toward him, moving faster than ever. Javier continues to watch, thinking, this has become a dangerous fight. Norman has unleashed the power of his heart, which took him 5 years to master. This skill is incredibly powerful. For Leon to block it, he would need training that could take years, but he's only had 1 month. There's no way he can block it. Then, Norman attacks Leon, aiming directly for his neck. Leon reacts quickly and raises his Shaveling to defend. Norman smirks, saying, you're a fool if you think this Shaveling can stop my attack. I'll destroy your weapon. As Norman strikes, Leon's parents, watching anxiously, are horrified. Suddenly, something unexpected happens. Norman's powerful attack is blocked by Leon's Shaveling. Norman is in disbelief. No. This can't be happening. There's no way you have the power to block my attack. Leon smiles, replying, this is the 4th method I prepared to defeat you. He goes on, in the past month, I've focused not just on training, but on preparing for this exact moment. I have another powerful skill, mana conjuring, which Javier is also quite proficient at. With this skill, Javier has become so strong that no one can defeat him. When a swordsman learns this skill, they can absorb their opponent's mana into their body. That's exactly what I did with your energy. I absorbed it into my Shaveling and used it to block your attack. Upon hearing this, Norman quickly pulls his sword away from Leon. You're a thief! You stole my mana power. Leon, unfazed, retorts, stop talking nonsense, and take this. He strikes Norman with his Shaveling, landing a direct hit to Norman's face. The sound of the slap echoes through the arena. For a moment, everything is silent. A tooth falls from Norman's mouth, hitting the ground. With this single attack, Leon has left Norman badly shaken. He watches the tooth fall, confused. Is that my tooth? Just then, Leon spins his Shaveling again, this time striking Norman with the back of the weapon. The impact worsens Norman's condition as his mana energy begins to deplete. He can no longer defend himself. As Norman stumbles, Leon prepares his final move. He charges towards him, mercilessly aiming his javelin at the back of Norman's head. The strike causes Norman to lose his sword, and he collapses to the ground with a loud crash. After a few seconds, everything falls into silence. No one blinks, all eyes are on the fight, and everyone is stunned. No one expected Leon to win this fight. Leon's father, Arcus, begins to wonder how this could have happened. Just then, a voice breaks the silence, saying, "Look, Master Leon has won the fight." Our new winner is Master Leon Frontiera, who defeated Norman in this fight. Another person, still in disbelief, speaks up. "No, this can't be. How could this kid defeat Norman in a fight?" At that moment, Arcus declares loudly, "I hereby declare that this fight is over, and Leon Frontiera is the winner." Norman, still stunned, wonders to himself, how is this possible? How did I lose? I'm a sword expert, and this kid. He has nothing. He defeated me with a shovel. This is embarrassing. Leon approaches Norman and says, "Did you see that? I've won, and you've lost. The duel is over, but there's still one thing left that I can finish." Leon readies his shovel again, prepared to attack. Norman, still dazed, can barely process what's happening. He watches helplessly, unable to move his body, relying on others for help. Arcus, witnessing this, shouts, "Leon, stop. The fight is over, there's no need for more action." But Leon isn't stopping. He launches several attacks at Norman, his face filled with a monstrous expression, attacking without mercy. Norman, lying on the ground, can do nothing but try to protect his head with his hands. Every attack from Leon lands on Norman's back, causing further damage. Meanwhile, Arcus continues shouting at Leon to stop. After a few moments, some soldiers step forward and grab Leon, trying to halt his attacks. Javier, a senior knight, watches this unfold and comments, "This boy has lost control. He's completely gone mad." But another knight, who's observing closely, says, "No, this doesn't seem like a loss of control. He's very much in control. I think he's doing this purposefully." Leon, hearing this, tells the soldiers, "I'm in control now. You can let me go." Upon hearing this, the soldiers step back, and Leon stands up straight for a moment before launching another series of attacks at Norman. This time, the soldiers find it even harder to stop him. Javier watches with increasing interest, thinking, this kid is attacking very methodically. Even though it seems like he's lost his mind, his every strike is purposeful. He's targeting every part of Norman's body, hitting where it hurts the most. It's as if he's been trained for this. His calm face shows he's not acting out of rage, he just wants to defeat Norman. As Leon attacks, Javier notices something about his eyes. There's a certain knowing look in them, as if Leon has some secret knowledge. This sends Javier's mind racing back to 15 days ago, when Leon had been training with him. Leon had asked to learn a skill called Ashra. Javier was surprised by his request, but Leon explained that he knew Javier could teach him, having observed him for days. Javier, unsure of how Leon knew about Ashra, was taken aback. Leon, however, quickly covered up, telling Javier that he had overheard him mumbling about it in his sleep. Javier, though suspicious, didn't press the matter. He agreed to teach Leon the skill if Leon helped him complete it. Later, Leon explained the technique. This is how the Ashra skill works. You absorb energy from another person's body and combine it with your own energy. The problem, however, is that your heart rejects it. But there's a solution. Instead of combining the two energies immediately, store the energy separately. Over time, the energies will merge naturally. Javier was impressed but also confused. How did you know about this? This skill is new to me too. Leon, ever so calm, gave a half smile. I guess I just figured it out after watching you. Hearing this, Xavier starts thinking, right now, asking them any questions won't help. They tell Elle just keep lying, and it'll never end. I should use my technique for now. If I try the way they taught me, it might work. I believe I'll be able to get a job this way. Xavier immediately tries the technique as he was instructed, and almost instantly, he begins to feel the work coming to him. He realizes he has absorbed energy into his mana heart. As he uses this skill for the first time, 3 mana strings start floating around his mana heart. He also gains confidence that if he keeps trying, he might eventually be able to make 5 mana strings revolve inside his mana heart. Right at this moment, a notification appears on the screen in front of Leon, which reads, Xavier's approval rating has increased by 5 points. Moments later, we shift back to a flashback. Xavier has told Leon everything, and Leon isn't happy about it. Xavier informs him that he can't teach Leon the exact same skill he just learned. Instead, he'll teach him a lighter version of it, one where Leon can extract mana energy from a body that's in contact with the air, rather than absorbing it directly from the air. Leon doesn't like this at all because the power is much weaker. Absorbing mana energy from the air into one's body is a bigger achievement than pulling it out from someone else's body. But, with few options left, Leon reluctantly agrees to learn the skill. The flashback ends here. Xavier watches Leon and thinks to himself, Master Leon has learned the skill I created very well and used it effectively in this fight. Thanks to him, he was able to defeat Norman. If they hadn't had this skill, the outcome of the fight would have been very different. We then see soldiers still trying to stop Leon, but they are unable to. Leon continues to attack Norman relentlessly, perhaps only stopping once he defeats him. At this point, Arcus suddenly loses his temper and shouts, Leon, what are you doing? I've been telling you to stop. Can't you hear me? If you try attacking Norman again, you'll face severe punishment. This fight is over. Norman is highly respected by us. You cannot attack him like this. Hearing this, Leon pauses, waiting for Arcus to speak to him. With Arcus' words, Leon starts his response. You trust Norman a lot, don't you? Well, why don't you take a look under that table? If you lift the cloth, you'll find something that will completely shatter all your trust in Norman. Arcus quickly lifts the cloth and finds a pile of letters underneath. He opens one of them. These letters are agreements between respected Norman and the Gis family. As Leon exposes Norman, Arcus begins to shake, realizing that the man he trusted so much has been deceiving them all along, causing harm to their family. This revelation shocks him deeply. Norman, visibly stunned, says, How could this be? I had hidden everything so well. Leon smirks, thinking to himself, I knew Xavier would get his hands on these letters someday, which is why I made sure they were hidden at this exact location. Since the start of this mission, I had Padown place all the letters here. As Arcus reads all the letters, he can no longer stand up straight and sits back down. Leon reflects, when I read this novel, I thought the soldier was really good and had control over his entire army. But when I found out he was betraying them and deceiving the whole Frontiera family, it felt wrong. It made me realize that being a kind leader is far better than just being a good leader. There's a huge difference. Just because your leader is nice doesn't mean he's good. There might be another bigger reason behind his actions. After a few moments of silence, Leon speaks again. I know this must be difficult for you, but if you want, I can suggest a punishment. Arcus, what do you think? Arcus responds, yes, please, tell me. This makes it clear that Arcus is now listening to Leon more attentively. Until now, he had seen Leon as insignificant, but his image of him is starting to change. Leon says, I think we should place a rat on Norman's head. If the rat stays there and Norman survives, we'll keep him in the army but demote him to a regular soldier. He won't receive any more energy. This will give him a chance to redeem himself. However, if any side effects occur because of the rat, it will be Norman's responsibility. At first, no one around understands this strange punishment. Some soldiers whisper, what kind of punishment is this? How can a rat cause harm by sitting on Norman's head? Another says, maybe Leon is being too merciful and just wants to give him a chance to apologize. That's why he's suggesting such a punishment. A third person says, yes, it's probably all just a show. How can a rat be a real punishment? Arcus, too, is puzzled, but because he's starting to trust his son a little, he doesn't stop him from carrying out his decision. But from now on, he doesn't say anything. Seeing this, the second senior knight realizes that Leon has been granted permission in the same way as before. He tells Leon, all right, Leon, you can do whatever you want. We accept your way of punishing. Arcus says, Leon, very well done, go ahead. After this, Leon asks Norman if he agrees with all of this. Norman, who is feeling some compassion for him, accepts it. Leon thanks him for allowing him to punish this way. However, only Leon knows that he is not being forgiven in any way. What lies ahead for him is much more dangerous because Leon has already seen the future in this novel. It was going to happen that Norman's mistake would come to light. After that, Arcus would forgive him, but even then, Norman's nature would not change. He would continue betraying the Frontiera family, and his consistency in this would only increase. While Leon is thinking about all this regarding the future, Norman's face wears a strange smile. It seems as though while Leon is thinking about Norman, Norman is also thinking about him. He must be thinking, how foolish these people are to forgive me. I am like a snake, I'll bite them when the time comes. They may leave me alive now, but later, they will regret it when I strike again. At this moment, Leon also has a slight smile on his face. Leon says, you won't be able to do anything to anyone. You're trying to hide your smile, but I saw it. Now, let's see what happens to you. Hearing this, Norman gets scared and says, what are you talking about? What are you going to do? Leon replies, what do you think? What do my words mean? Saying this, he takes out a red-colored seed and plants it. As soon as he eats the seed, Leon immediately grabs him and throws him high into the air. Norman looks terrified, as he's like a bug that should be squashed immediately. He knows he won't be forgiven, no matter what. With that, Leon lets the seed grow rapidly in the air. As it grows, its effects become visible almost immediately. The size of the bug increases massively. People below watch in shock, not expecting this to happen. They are witnessing the bug grow from a tiny size into a huge one right in front of their eyes. The crowd, who had thought that Norman was being forgiven, now realizes in an instant that Norman wasn't being forgiven. Instead, he was being given the most dangerous punishment of the Frontiera family. As the bug grows, Leon starts running away. Norman is still up, his body swollen with lumps, unable to move, though he can scream. But screaming does him no good now. The bug grows larger and lands on him with the force of a massive meter. The ground shakes as the bug crashes down. It's clear now, Norman's body has been completely crushed into a paste. There's no chance of survival. Afterward, Leon, laughing, says, this is my way of delivering justice. This is how all traitors will learn their lesson and change, and all the honest ones will have assurance that they are in a safe place. He lets it roam freely within the city, where it digs out trench-like structures. Over time, these trenches have spread throughout the entire city. Watching this, Xavier approaches Leon and asks, what exactly are you doing? What is the point of all this? Leon calmly responds, I am building roads inside the city. You already know that I now have full authority over the soldiers. I can command them however I want. The weak and lazy ones have become strong and hard-working. It is clear they now resemble professional construction workers. I intend to use their strength to rebuild the city. Slowly but surely, my construction force is growing stronger. Leon continues, and this is just the beginning. I will completely transform the city into something so magnificent that people will be left speechless. I know of a city called Rome, a grand, beautiful place, and I plan to make our city just like it. The road I am building will stretch from the Frontiera mansion directly to the eastern mountains. Xavier listens but still doubts the plan. I understand you want to improve the infrastructure, but will building roads really make such a big difference? He asks. Leon confidently replies, of course it will. A city's strength largely depends on its roads and how efficiently goods and people can move. However, as he watches Leon, a suspicion creeps into Xavier's mind. He questions, Master Leon, there is something I do not understand. You never showed interest in such things before. You barely cared about infrastructure or magic. But now, suddenly, you know so much. You have built a new heating system for houses, and you possess a magical mouse capable of growing at will. How did you gain all this knowledge? Sometimes I wonder. Are you really Master Leon Frontiera? Just as Xavier says this, a screen window pops up in front of Leon, reading, Xavier is beginning to doubt you. Leon immediately starts sweating. He realizes that Xavier is extremely powerful. If Xavier even suspects for a moment that Leon is an imposter, he would not hesitate to attack and eliminate him. Leon must be very careful now. He needs to convince Xavier that he truly is Leon Frontiera. Luckily, Leon has a special skill. He can craft a certain expression on his face, one that makes him look incredibly innocent and trustworthy. Using this skill, Leon transforms his expression into that of a clumsy, harmless fool and starts speaking, You suspect me? How could you? You know me better than anyone. You are with me almost 24 hours a day. Sure, there are times you are not with me. During those times, I gathered knowledge and improved myself. That is all. So, do not underestimate me. I know exactly what I am doing. Xavier still has his doubts and presses further, then explain how you acquired such a powerful summoning skill. Most magicians spend at least 20 years mastering their magic, and even then, they rarely achieve something like this. I have never seen you train. Leon snaps back, stop talking nonsense. Is it not possible that I was simply born with this skill and only recently awakened it? Look at yourself, you are exceptionally powerful, stronger than many older and more experienced knights. Yet you are still Xavier, right? Just because you have talent does not mean you are someone else. Xavier replies, but I do not even consider myself an expert. Leon smiles and says, maybe you think you are normal, but you are special. And I am special too. This summoning skill has been with me since birth. I just never showed it before. Even though Leon tries hard to convince him, Xavier remains unconvinced. However, he does not push the issue further. Sensing his chance, Leon quickly changes the subject and says, since you have no more questions, let us never speak of this again. I have too much work to complete. As Leon walks away, he thinks to himself, maybe I have succeeded. Xavier will not bring this up again. And indeed, Xavier stays silent. At that moment, Leon's second-in-command, Berian, who has now risen to the top position after the death of the previous first knight, approaches him. Sir Berian, Leon says, I need to leave for some urgent business. While I am gone, you will oversee all road construction work. Berian replies, of course. By the time you return, everything will be completed. Xavier then steps in and says, you know I have to accompany you. It is my job to keep an eye on you. Leon nods, of course. Wherever I go. You will come with me. Xavier asks, where exactly are we going? Leon replies, someone owes me a lot of money. We are going to collect it. The scene shifts to a town named Lardia. Inside a house, we meet a man named Totos, the same man to whom the first senior knight was supposed to reveal some important secrets. Totos is in a miserable state. News has reached him that the first senior knight is dead, and with him, all the money Totos had invested is now lost. He holds his head in despair, overwhelmed by the loss. At that moment, his personal bodyguard arrives and says, what is the point of crying now? You gambled away all your money, and the rest you gave away. No one is going to return it. When you had wealth, you lived lavishly. Now that you have nothing, reality has hit you hard. The bodyguard warns him, I only agreed to work for you as long as you could pay me. If you cannot pay my salary soon, I will leave. Then you will be completely alone. Hearing this, Totos becomes even more desperate. He pleads, how can you say that? You have been with me for so long. How can you abandon me now, when I need you the most? The bodyguard says, yes, of course, I will leave. I was only with you for the money. As long as you were paying me, I stayed. The moment the money runs out, I will be gone. Apart from money, there is no relationship between us. Hearing this, Totus responds, all right then, you need money, right? You will get your money. I will find a way to arrange it. But until then, protect me properly. Right now, I really need you. Many people are after me for money, and you are the only one strong enough to protect me. You are my bodyguard and incredibly powerful. You have to shield me from everyone asking for money. Just as Totus finishes speaking, a loud noise erupts. Someone smashes through the gate and steps inside. It is our hero, Leon. Totus looks at him, unable to recognize who he is. He angrily asks, who are you, and how dare you break in like this? Leon laughs and replies, seems like you don't know me. Maybe you have not seen my face before. My name is Leon Frontiera. As soon as Totus hears the name, it clicks in his mind. His face turns pale, and fear takes over him. The bodyguard, noticing Totus' fear, whispers, what should we do? Should I kill him? Totus quickly shouts, no. Absolutely not. He is dangerous. We need to escape immediately. Hearing this, the bodyguard grabs Totus and makes a giant leap, smashing through a window. They land far away, showing just how powerful the bodyguard truly is. Even after the rough landing, he remains completely unharmed. However, the moment they land, someone is already waiting there, sword in hand. It is Xavier. Holding his large sword, Xavier steps forward and says firmly, you have one chance. Drop that man here peacefully and walk away. Otherwise, I will be forced to attack you. While saying this, Xavier wonders to himself, how did Master Leon know they would try to escape through the back window and land exactly here? This cannot just be a coincidence. Meanwhile, the bodyguard sets Totus aside and smirks, saying, "Kid, whoever you are way too young. You have just started learning. Do you even know how to wield a sword?" He then activates his powers, revealing that he is no ordinary man, he is a magician with dark-type powers. He forms a glowing energy ball in his hand. Watching from inside the house, Leon thinks, a fight between Xavier and this magician is about to happen. Although Xavier is strong, fighting against magic users is not easy, especially gravity magic. I had read about it in the novel, gravity attacks badly affect Xavier. Maybe today I will witness that struggle live. As Leon ponders, the fight begins. The bodyguard hurls the energy ball toward Xavier. Calm and composed, Xavier brings his sword forward, blocking the ball. The energy ball shatters into pieces and surrounds Xavier. Confused, Xavier tries to figure out what is happening when suddenly the bodyguard charges with a strong punch. The punch sends Xavier flying backward, but he quickly regains his balance. According to the novel, during this time, Xavier was only a high-level swordmaster. He did not know the special sword skill that Leon later taught him, the skill to absorb mana power. But now, thanks to Leon, Xavier possesses this crucial ability. After the punch, something strange happens. Xavier's body glows, his mana heart activates, with 3 mana rings rotating around it. Although Xavier has not completely mastered it, it is still enough to turn the fight. Activating his mana heart, Xavier spins his sword powerfully. The dark energy surrounding him instantly disperses. Astonished, Xavier mutters, "What kind of skill was that?" Just one swing and it disappeared. I expected better from a bodyguard. Hearing Xavier's words, fear grips the bodyguard. Sweating profusely, he grabs Totus and tries to run away. While escaping, he yells, "You are on your own now. Our contract ends here. I will not protect you anymore." Totus desperately screams for him to stop, but the bodyguard is already gone. Xavier approaches Totus and says coldly, "I heard you betrayed the Frontiera family. Do you know what the punishment is for that?" Totus, terrified, stumbles to the ground. He is so scared that no words come out of his mouth. He can see death standing right in front of him. Xavier continues, "Do you know your punishment? I will cut off both your legs. You will spend your life begging, with no way left to deceive anyone ever again. That will be your sentence." As Xavier raises his sword, a loud voice interrupts, "Xavier, stop!" Leon steps in just in time and blocks Xavier's sword. Leon calmly says, "Xavier, you must stay in control. I never gave you permission to kill him. If you cut off his legs now, he will be of no use to us. We still need him alive for some work. Once we are done, he will be yours to deal with however you want." Hearing this, Xavier steps back and lowers his sword, accepting Leon's decision. We now shift to a scene where, after some time, interrogation begins with the man. He is bound to a chair and shaking terribly, clearly frightened. In front of him are Leon and Javier. Leon, seeing him tremble, speaks up. "Why are you so scared?" Leon asks calmly, "I am not going to do anything wrong to you. You don't need to be afraid of me. I just want to make a deal with you. You know, we're all human, and humans tend to be greedy. Well, I am no different. I am quite greedy too, and this is an opportunity for me to take full advantage of. So, there's no need to panic." He pauses, then continues, "I'm sure you know that you've scammed a lot of people. Now, if I were to take you to court, the consequences would be severe. Fraud carries a heavy punishment. You'd spend a long time in jail, and you'd be tortured in ways you can't even imagine. But none of that benefits me, so I'm thinking of a different way." Totes, the man, looks confused and asks, "Does this mean you're going to forgive me?" Leon shakes his head. "No, it's not that easy. You can't just escape like that. You'll have to do something for me first. I know you have all of Boran's stuff. How about you hand all that over to me in exchange for your life?" Without any hesitation, Totes agrees, saying, "Yes, all of it is yours. You can take whatever you want. Just let me go. Now that we have a deal, can I leave?" Leon laughs, "No, the deal's not done yet. This is just the beginning. You'll have to do much more for me." Totes, desperate, agrees, "Yes, I'm ready to do anything. Just tell me what to do. Your every word is a command to me." Leon, with a sly grin, says, "All right then. Sign this contract, and I'll take care of the rest." Totes looks at the contract carefully. What does this contract say? Leon replies, it's simple. You're now my employee. You'll work for me, and I'll even pay you a salary. But because you owe a lot of money, 80% of your salary will go towards repaying your debts. The remaining 20% will be yours to keep. You'll work for me for 520 years, and once that period ends, you'll be free. No more debts. See how generous I'm being? You'll be out of this mess in no time. Totes is shocked. 520 years? That's longer than my entire life. He thinks to himself, if I sign this, I'll be a slave to him forever. Javier, meanwhile, is thinking the same thing. Leon was supposed to hand over Totes to me after this, but now it's going to take 520 years. This man is far from kind. He's manipulative, clever, and now I see how far he's willing to go. Leon, with a slight smile, thinks, I'm not letting you die until you've paid every last penny of what you owe me. Your whole life will be my slave. Totes begins to understand the gravity of the situation. He realizes he's sold his life by signing the contract and immediately regrets it. But there's no turning back now. The next morning, we find Totes, Leon, and Javier traveling in a cart. Leon still doesn't trust Totes. He's tightly bound, ensuring that he doesn't escape. Javier says, we've already made a lot of money off him. We won't need to take interest from him for at least 3 or 4 months. Leon, always thinking ahead, responds, what do you think we should do with this money? I was thinking of hiring more people. We already have 30 soldiers, but they're weak. We need more people who will work the way we want. The work needs to pick up speed. I have an idea, Leon continues. Let's put up a board in the village saying that we're hiring. The villagers need to be offered a job with a salary, so they'll join us. Javier looks skeptical. But people in the village already hate you. They won't trust that you'll actually pay them. Leon agrees, but insists, even if they don't trust me, I have to. Try. Maybe things will change. A few days later, they return to the village. They put up a board announcing that the Frontiera family is hiring workers, with a salary of 20 gold per week. They also offer inquiries with Master Leon. To their surprise, a long line of villagers forms, all wanting to take up the offer. Leon is shocked. I didn't expect this. How did so many people come, despite hating me? Javier explains, yes, they do hate you. But they saw the homes you've been building with a new technology called Londol. It's made their homes much warmer, and they've started to respect you for it. They feel they can trust you now. Leon starts to think to himself, is it true? The village where I was once disrespected, where people didn't even like to look at me, and now, they all believe I can be trusted. As Leon contemplates this, a man approaches him and says, my lord, I want to work with you. I've read the contract thoroughly and I'm ready to proceed. Leon replies, very well, we'll start the work soon. But the man continues, before that, please accept my gratitude. Because of you, we've gained so much. I have a son who used to struggle in the cold, but now, thanks to your efforts, we have a home that stays warm inside. It's such a comfort, and for that, I want to thank you. The man bows his head in front of Leon, who begins to reflect, I haven't done anything for these people. Everything I did was for my own selfish gain, yet they're praising me and thanking me. The man goes on, I have a relative living in a nearby town, and he also wants a house like this. Can you build one for him as well? Hearing this, a wide smile spreads across Leon's face. He thinks to himself, finally, it's working. I've built these houses at such a low cost for these people, and now I'm going to benefit. They're starting to refer me to others, and soon, my name and brand will be everywhere. I'll be so successful that money will come pouring in from all directions. Leon smiles wickedly as he says, of course, I'll build a similar house for him. We'll get started soon. At this moment, Javier, who has been observing Leon, begins to understand his thoughts. Javier thinks, I see now why Leon has been building these houses at such low prices. Everyone thinks it's out of kindness, but it's actually part of his business plan. I must have been a fool not to see it sooner. However, Javier is still puzzled about something. He wonders, but why is he building this road from the frontier mansion all the way to the mountain? What's the reason behind it? Hours later, Javier and Leon are standing atop a mountain, and Leon is finally about to reveal why he's building the road. Leon says, you've been wondering why I'm building this road, right? Let me explain. As you know, All the homes have original floors, which means there's a huge demand for firewood to keep the chimneys burning and heat the houses. Javier nods. Yes, I understand. What happens next? Leon continues. Soon, there will be a shortage of trees in our city because people will have cut them all down to burn in their chimneys. Once the wood runs out, they'll have no other option but to come to us. That's when our real plan will begin. With this revelation, Javier's face suddenly changes. The cheerful expression fades, and he looks at Leon in shock. He asks, "Wait, your master plan is?" Leon answers, "Do you see over there? Those mountains have black rocks that we can use as fuel. It's basically coal that burns well in chimneys. That's why I'm building the road, to easily transport the coal from the mountain into the village." Leon grins as he explains, "Right now, there are plenty of trees, but once they're gone, the villagers will have no choice but to buy coal from us. They're already used to using chimneys, so they'll buy it in large quantities. That's when I'll secure my hold over the entire village. The cheap homes I built will now pay off." Javier listens, and though initially angry, he finally understands. Leon adds, "I know you're probably thinking I'm greedy or manipulative, but understand that this is business. If we don't think about profit, we'll never succeed. We've already suffered losses by building homes at such low prices. If I don't start charging more, how will we pay off the debt?" Javier, after hearing this, agrees, "I see your point. This is the only way out. But there's still one issue. How will you execute this plan?" Everyone knows about the black rocks in the mountains, but many have tried mining them and failed. Some early miners succeeded, but since then, no one has managed to extract the coal. Leon responds, "Yes, I know. Every time someone tries mining here, the cave collapses, trapping everyone inside. No one wants to mine anymore, but that's where we'll benefit. We'll mine the coal and take it out before anyone else can. I have a new mining technology that no one knows about. I call it the shield turning method." Javier, intrigued, says, "Shield turning method? I've never heard of it, but I trust you. I believe you'll make it work, just like you've done with everything else." The entrance is blocked by large rocks, indicating that the cave has already collapsed. Inside, they see a large empty space, but it's not completely empty. Monsters with large tentacles lurk in the shadows, and glowing eyes can be seen. Leon knows that these aren't ordinary monsters, they're waiting for someone to enter. Soon, Leon will find a way to navigate into the cave and begin his mining operation. The adventure is just beginning. From here, we see Leon standing at a spot. It's already dark, and he begins to use his powers, saying, "I use the power of summoning, summon quickly." As he says this, a green light emerges from his body, reaching up to the sky before it descends to the ground. Upon landing, a massive building materializes. However, it is soon revealed that Leon doesn't actually possess such a power. It was merely an illusion he created. In fact, he isn't even using his summoning power at this moment. He's comfortably sitting at a table, using his powers to sketch out a map, planning how to build his next house. Thinking about this dream, he says, "I wish I had summoning powers like that. I'd design an entire house in one go. If only that were the case, I wouldn't have to do all these little things. First, I have to build the structure, then one by one, place the bricks and create the house. This is such a tiring job, and I'm so bored of it. Plus, I have a bunch of workers. I have to pay all these soldiers, but so far, I've made very little profit from all the work I've done. I don't have any money to pay them." Leon sighs and continues, "I wish I had summoning powers, where I could just summon slaves to do all the work and not have to pay them." Hearing this, the system responds, "If you're not satisfied with this skill, you can choose to draw everything by hand. You don't have to use the skill." Leon quickly replies, No, drawing by hand is far worse than this." We then learn that when Leon had met Totus, he had requested something from Baron, his father. Baron is a title, and in this context, Baron means king, while Leon's mother and father are referred to as queen and king respectively. Leon then sees several screens pop up in front of him, displaying his skills. Over the last few months, he has accumulated a lot of RP points for all the work he's done, especially since his village has started to favor him. Currently, Leon has a total of 640 RP points. Without hesitation, he decides to upgrade two of his skills, basic planning and basic surveying, both of which are now upgraded to level 10, and their names changed to intermediate planning and intermediate surveying. These upgrades allow him to use these skills even better. Using these skills, Leon heads toward a cave he had encountered earlier. When he arrives, the area that was once rough terrain has now been transformed into a road. He looks at the cave and says, "This is the cave that collapsed a while ago. We need to start digging from here, but first, I'll use my powers. I have the intermediate surveying skill, and I'm about to use it now." As Leon activates his powers, a green light emanates from his eyes, revealing a large empty space. But upon closer inspection, it isn't an empty space, it's the collapsed cave. This is an optical power which allows Leon to see through a 5-meter radius and visualize everything within it, essentially giving him X-ray vision. He's trying to figure out the best way to enter the cave. Leon thinks, there's a safe route to enter from here, but there's a problem. We need to dig fast. This is a crucial task, and I don't want to waste too much time. I could assign all my soldiers to this task, but they're too slow. They'll take too long to dig, and Proton is in bad shape too. I assigned him the task of filling the road, and he's exhausted. I forgot to stop him, so now he's going to rest for a long time. If I wait for him to recover, he'll be too big to enter the cave, and that would be risky. If I made the cave larger to accommodate him, it would take even longer. There's only one thing to do now, I need to summon another monster. Leon quickly calls for a random summon. Summon quickly, appear before me. A screen pops up, and it shows that summoning this monster will cost 70 RP points. For Leon, this is no big deal, so he immediately spends the points. The process begins, and a green orb appears, emitting strange sounds. From this orb, a pink-colored monster emerges. Leon watches it with an unimpressed expression. He thinks, it looks even worse than the last one, but maybe it has some great skills I can use. I felt the same way about Proton, but now he's really useful. He turns to the monster and asks, "Do you have any special skills? Can you grow in size or do something else?" The monster doesn't respond. Leon says, "Tell me your skills quickly. I need to know how to use you." Fast forward a few weeks, and we see the work in the cave progressing rapidly. Leon has used this monster, named Bengo, in a unique way. He's created a machine specifically for Bengo, fitting the monster into it. The machine moves forward, and Bengo devours the rocks in its path with its chopping teeth, which are at level 1. After digging for a while, whenever Bengo emerges, Leon quickly tells his workers to get to work. With Bengo's second skill, Accelerated Dirt, he can process the dirt within his body, causing his body to tremble. Upon seeing this, one of the workers, Xavier, gets ready for something dangerous to happen. Then, Bengo's third skill activates, Steel Drill Launcher. The monster can transform the dirt it eats into steel rods and launch them at high speed. Xavier reacts quickly, using his sword to cut the steel rods before they can cause any harm. The workers begin processing the cut steel rods, using them to create weapons for the next phase of their work. Xavier was in the middle of his work, and he thought to himself, "I'm a knight, and this is not something a knight should be doing. What am I doing here, cutting a monster's poop? This really doesn't suit me." Yet, despite his hesitation, he knew this job was something only he could do, so he continued. Just then, Leon's voice echoed across the area, "Everyone, keep going. We're moving forward from here." At Leon's signal, one of the workers, who was close to the monster, began moving the machine forward. This process continued in a cycle, stretching the cave further. Leon had taken every safety measure into account. A pipe had been laid out to ensure constant oxygen flow, vital because they were deep underground where oxygen levels were low. Without it, the air would deplete, causing everyone inside to pass out. At this moment, Xavier approached Leon, urging him to take a break. "Master Leon, you have been working for hours without stopping. If you keep pushing yourself, you'll collapse like the others. The rest of us have shifts to rotate, but you're not letting anyone take over for you." Leon responded firmly, "The work I'm doing, no one else can. I'm in charge here, and all the commands must come from me. If I leave, everything will stop." He then began to think back to his time in Korea, recalling how many people there only cared about resting. They believed workers should always be doing the work. But I don't think like that. I want all the workers here to believe I'm working harder than they are, so they respect me and keep working faster for me. If I start resting, they'll think it's fine to slack off and only do the minimum. With that, Leon activated his X-ray vision and checked the progress ahead. He received some good news. Within a 5-meter radius, there were plenty of coal chunks. He quickly called out to the soldiers, "We're close. Keep up the good work, the coal is near." Hearing this, the soldiers and workers became energized. Suddenly, Leon's monster companion appeared beside him. Leon spoke to it. "Good work, the process is moving 10 times faster. Now, we'll take over from here, we don't want you eating the coal." Leon turned to the workers, instructing them that once they secured the coal, they would need to start a process immediately to prevent any layering from forming on it. "This is not difficult, we'll handle it easily. You've all worked well, and I promise you, your hard work will be rewarded." As Leon spoke, it became apparent that this cave was unusual. The ceiling was covered in a special metal, the very metal that had come from the monster's body. The workers immediately began their task of covering the area to seal it completely and prevent cave collapses. Just as Leon's briefing concluded, he felt some movement ahead. The rocks began to stir on their own, something impossible to happen naturally. Leon thought to himself, how can this be? We're so deep underground, and there's no water source nearby. What's causing this noise? He activated his X-ray vision again, revealing a small hole about 5 meters ahead, which was gradually growing larger. Leon focused more on the hole, and suddenly, a monster emerged from it, attacking him the moment it surfaced. After that, Leon starts thinking, I had a feeling that we were going to encounter these creatures soon. When I was reading the novel, I had seen monsters like this. Right after thinking this, Leon recalls something else. He remembers that such ants never stay alone. If there's an ant here, then it must be surrounded by others. As he thinks this, he notices something in front of him. The small hole that was there earlier is now much larger, and there are a lot of glowing eyes. The entire army of these ants starts entering through the hole. As soon as he sees this, Leon shouts to his soldiers, "Get out of here quickly. This is getting very dangerous." Hearing this, everyone starts running, except for Xavier. Xavier attacks the ants without hesitation, not caring about who he's fighting. He immediately starts slashing at them. Seeing this, Leon wonders, how many of these will Xavier be able to defeat? There are thousands of them. Is it even possible for him to defeat each one? But no, that can't happen. As this fight continues, Xavier will get exhausted, and these monsters will soon reach here too. They'll even try to heal using oxygen, meaning the oxygen here is already running low. I don't know what we should do. All our people are running outside, and the cave is collapsing quickly. The ceiling is completely covered, and now there's an area below where the ground might start to crumble, sealing off the entire area. If that happens, all our efforts will be in vain. What should I do? I need to think of something fast. Saying this, Leon keeps looking around, visibly panicked. Xavier notices and slaps him on the cheek, saying, "Master Leon, pay attention to what's happening. The fight has already begun. You can't panic like this. You're not the only one whose life is in danger. Everyone here is at risk. You have to think of something." After hearing this, Xavier rushes back into the fight. Leon responds, "I am not panicking, I am just trying to figure out what we should do." "Xavier, think quickly. We can't hold them off much longer." Leon thinks to himself, there's an ant nest, plenty of black coal, and we are deep underground. What can we do with all this? As he ponders, a light bulb moment hits him, and an idea flashes through his mind. He grabs a torch from nearby and tells Xavier, "Xavier, there's only one way left. We have to fight our way through and reach the ant nest directly." Xavier doesn't understand Leon's plan and says, "This is a terrible plan, but if you thought it through, I guess you have a reason for it." With that, both of them charge forward, attacking more ants. Meanwhile, a scene unfolds at the Frontier mansion, where a man runs toward Arcus and says, "There's a huge problem." Arcus replies, "What happened? Did Leon do something again?" "I knew it. He must have fought someone." The man responds, "This time, it's a much bigger problem than before. You know, they were in a cave, and inside, there were many monsters, big ants. They attacked all the workers inside. The workers have escaped, but Master Leon is still in the cave. It's possible his life might be in danger. We've already sent news to Cerberian. He should be near the cave soon. He might have already locked it so no monsters can escape." Arcus says, "Then I should go too." He quickly puts on his armor and adds, "I must save my son." Back in the cave, Xavier is still fighting the ants but is now exhausted. He tells Leon, "We've come deep into the cave. We've killed many ants, but we need to figure out how to get out now. We've come too far." Leon responds, "Don't ask me to think. I already have a plan. Just follow it." We need to keep moving forward. After hearing this, Xavier intensifies his attacks on the ants. Leon, holding the torch, keeps the ants away. While fighting, Leon thinks it's a good thing these ants haven't escaped. If they did, they would attack everyone outside. They're following us, but the problem is, if they do anything, it will affect only us. We'd be the ones at risk. It's just the two of us here, and if these ants surround us, we can't retreat. We need to finish the task we came here for. Xavier is in bad shape from fighting non-stop and protecting Leon. The air is running out, and survival for even one more second is becoming more difficult. Leon realizes they need to act fast. He thinks to himself, there's coal here, which means there could be methane gas. Finding that methane gas is our first task. We need to set it on fire, and the explosion will kill all the ants. I'm confident we can survive. We just need to find the methane gas and set it off. Leon activates his X-ray vision and scans the ground. He sees the area where the methane gas is located, but it's slightly underground. Leon begins digging and tells Xavier, I need to dig here. You need to protect me. Keep attacking the ants and don't let any get near me. Xavier, trusting Leon, keeps fighting the ants as Leon focuses on digging. They both have one goal, to survive and complete the mission they started. At this point, an ant attacks directly, but Javier is in a fight with another ant and doesn't notice this new attack on Leon until it's too late. He quickly realizes what's happening and launches a powerful counterattack, saving Leon just in time. While Javier is busy fighting the other ants, Leon is focused entirely on his digging task. He trusts Javier completely to protect him, which is why he's not worried about the battle happening around him. The fight continues for a while until they reach the end. Just when they're almost done, a loud scream echoes through the cave. It's so intense that both Javier and Leon feel excruciating pain in their ears. Moments later, a massive creature appears, the queen ant. Seeing this, Leon panics. Look, that's the queen ant. She's here to attack us, and now we have to fight her. The queen ant begins charging toward them. Leon says to Javier, I trust you completely. You can fight this ant too and defeat it. Javier responds, no, I can't do this. Leon, shocked, replies, how can you say that? You haven't even started fighting yet. Don't give up so easily. We have to attack her and finish this. Javier explains, I trust myself, but I know my limits. Fighting isn't always about brute force. Sometimes we know what we can and can't do without even trying. But since we're stuck here, I won't give up. I'll try my best. Just as he says this, the queen ant attacks fiercely. Javier moves forward and strikes back, but both attacks collide, blocked by the queen ant. Fighting this ant is extremely tough for Javier, and after a long struggle, he manages to push her back just enough to give Leon more time to complete his task. Leon, meanwhile, continues digging with intense focus. As he works, he thinks about Javier. He knows that Javier is fighting the ants because of him. Otherwise, Javier could have escaped the cave alone. He feels guilty for the tough situation Javier is in. Suddenly, Leon's shovel strikes something hard, and he realizes he's reached the spot where the methane gas is leaking. He quickly grabs the torch he brought into the cave and runs toward Javier, shouting, Javier, you don't need to fight anymore. We're done here. Let's get out. Javier, confused, asks, what happened? What did you do? Leon runs ahead, and the queen ant follows. As they make their way through the cave, Leon sees piles of dead ants they've already defeated and a long tunnel ahead. Once they get farther into the tunnel, Leon looks back, tossing the torch behind him. The flame from the torch ignites the methane gas, causing a huge explosion that shakes the entire cave. The blast radius is enormous. Both Leon and Javier manage to escape the explosion, but the queen ant is caught in the blast and disintegrates. When the dust settles, Leon and Javier are badly hurt, lying on the ground, trying to recover from the shock. The sound of the explosion echoes outside the cave, and Arcus and the others hear it. Arcus, panicked, says, my son Leon is in that cave. We have to rescue him. Someone, go in and save him. But Beatrice, the second-in-command knight, stops Arcus, telling him, your life is far too important to risk. We believe Leon has already done something. He'll probably come out on his own. Inside the cave, Leon and Javier are still struggling to get back on their feet. There's a small monster nearby, weakened by the blast. Leon slowly stands and says, that was intense. My ears are still ringing. He turns and sees the queen ant's charred body. Looks like we did it. We've killed the queen ant. That means all the ants are gone now. He looks at Javier and says, "Are you all right? You really tried to protect me, and now you're in this condition because of it. I promise I'll get you out of here soon." Leon picks up a small monster and mutters, "Bengal, all of this happened because of me. You've ended up in a bad state because of me. But just wait a little longer, we'll get out of here." At that moment, Leon notices that the cave has collapsed. The roof has caved in because of the explosion, and the tunnel is now blocked. Panic rises as Leon realizes that the pipes providing air to the cave are now sealed off, and oxygen is running out quickly. An urgent message appears on his screen, oxygen levels critically low. Air supply diminishing rapidly. Leon knows what he has to do. Activating his X-ray vision, he scans the tunnel. The only way out is to dig 15 more meters. There's no other option. He pushes forward, determined. As he digs, he reflects, the part of the cave where the ants lived was weak, but the tunnels we dug with stronger materials are still holding. I just need to dig a little further, and we'll make it out. We'll have air, and we'll survive. But as he digs, he knows Javier and Bengal are both depending on him. He can't give up. Not now. At this moment, Xavier regains a little consciousness. He watches as Leon continues to do all this. Leon says, "No matter what happens here, even if I'm the only one who doesn't make it, I'll get Xavier and Bengal out of here. We will never give up, we will escape from here with them. Whatever has happened to them, I am completely responsible for it." Xavier hears this and passes out again. At the same time, Leon sees a screen window pop up, showing a message, "Xavier, you heard everything. Because of this, your perception of Leon has changed slightly. You've received an additional 6 points from Xavier. Your total RP points are now 157. You have gained 108 new RP points." Leon stares at the screen for a moment, then another window appears, oxygen is running out even faster. Seeing this, Leon mutters, "No matter how much I dig here, the oxygen will eventually run out. I can't get out this way. I have to do something else. This is a do-or-die moment. If I don't do something now, we're all going to die here. System, tell me if there's any skill I can upgrade to get us out of here." Upon hearing this, the system activates and starts scanning Leon's body. A window appears, saying, "Before teaching you any new skill, I must check which skills you already have." Then, 3 new skills appear before Leon. These are the skills Xavier had taught him over the past month. One of these skills allows Leon to touch someone and draw their mana energy out of their body. The system then says, "You have 3 new skills. However, you can combine these skills to create a new skill called Aran." Upon seeing this, a big smile spreads across Leon's face as he says, "I knew this skill would come to me. It's an amazing skill that's been crafted for a long time. I can use it." Another window pops up. "Do you want to combine these 3 skills?" Leon clicks on the option immediately. The process costs him 10 RP points. As this happens, energy starts flowing into Leon's body, a blue light enveloping him. The screen then shows, skill has reached level 5. Aran is the skill Leon taught Xavier, and Xavier had promised to teach it back to Leon once he fully mastered it. But after learning the skill, Xavier refused and only taught him a weaker version, believing that Leon might misuse the skill if he got too much power. Now, Leon had fully mastered the skill. He began absorbing energy from the environment around him. As he did this, Leon thought to himself, "Right now, this skill is at level 5. I need to upgrade it more. I have enough RP points to do so." Just then, another screen window pops up. "You can upgrade this skill to level 6 for just 10 RP points." Leon quickly spends the points. The skill upgrades to level 6, but he doesn't stop there. He keeps clicking to level it up further. Each upgrade costs more RP points, but Leon doesn't mind. He keeps going. Eventually, the skill reaches level 10. At this point, the skill's power doubles. When it was at level 5, Leon's mana power was at 120%. Now, it's at 200%. To level it up further would require 100 RP points, but Leon only has 7 left. Looking at the situation, Leon says, "I've upgraded this skill, but it's still not enough to get me out of here. I need to learn something else. System, is there anything else you can teach me?" The system presents 2 more skills. Energizer. This skill allows Leon to use his body for 10 minutes without feeling any fatigue. Power Surge. This skill makes his body 3 times faster for 20 seconds, but it can only be used once a day. Both skills have their limitations, one lasts 10 minutes, and the other lasts 20 seconds. Leon must choose which one to learn. Without hesitation, Leon picks the Energizer skill. His body glows as all fatigue disappears. He starts attacking the walls of the cave, digging at a much faster pace. As he digs, the oxygen meter shows it's dropping rapidly. Leon activates his X-ray vision, thinking, just a few more minutes. If the oxygen holds out, we'll be able to get out of here. I just need to find a small hole to make sure I'm digging in the right direction. Once I find a hole, oxygen will start flowing back in, and we'll be saved. With renewed hope, Leon continues digging. However, despite all his efforts, he hasn't reached the end of the cave. Another screen window shows oxygen is critically low. Then, Leon spots a hole ahead. He realizes he's digging in the right direction. Energized, he yells and increases his digging speed. Xavier and Bengal remain unconscious, with no hope of survival. Leon, however, holds on to the hope that he can save them. As the oxygen continues to deplete, Leon keeps digging. The oxygen meter is nearly empty. Just 3 minutes remain before they reach an area with air. But suddenly, everything stops. Leon collapses to his knees as the screen shows the 10-minute duration has expired, and you no longer have the energy to lift the shovel. Desperate, Leon sits down, exhausted. But then, an idea strikes him. He remembers his second option, Power Surge. Without wasting any time, he activates it. He now has 20 seconds to finish the task. Leon immediately starts digging again, his speed dramatically increasing. After a while, he's just 30 centimeters away from the end. But the 20 seconds run out and the oxygen meter empties completely. Xavier is lying unconscious, a stone pinning his leg. Bengal lies motionless as well. And Leon, filled with despair, thinks, I was so close. But I couldn't make it. I've always wanted a better life, but it looks like I'll die here in this cave, alone and helpless. As he says this, his eyes slowly close. But suddenly, he hears a sound. He opens his eyes and sees movement in the stones ahead. A cute face emerges from the rocks, it's Prodong. Seeing this, a big smile forms on Leon's face. Prodong breaks the rocks, allowing oxygen to flow in. Leon takes a deep breath, stands up, and says to himself, you can't give up like this. There's a life waiting for you outside. You've dreamed of a better life, and it's right in front of you. My father always told me, even if you can't sleep, make sure your dreams come true. Now is the time to make that happen. I've worked too hard to die in this cave. My life is far from over. There's still time, and I'm going to live it to the fullest. After this, the scene shifts to the other side of the cave. A few people are seen entering. They are Arcus, Beatrice, and the other soldiers, carrying torches in their hands. Beatrice, moving ahead, says, entering further into this cave could be extremely dangerous. The cave could collapse at any moment. We should leave. Arcus calmly replies, if you want to go back, then fine. You can leave. I never forced any of you to come with me, but I will keep moving forward until I find my son. As Arcus continues moving ahead, he notices something approaching from the front. On a closer look, it's a man carrying another man on his back. As the figures become clearer, it is revealed it's Leon carrying Xavier. For the first time in the entire series, Leon's full appearance is properly shown. Despite being completely exhausted, Leon still has the strength to carry Xavier and keep moving. Seeing this, even the system comments, you have pushed your physical body to its limits today. This is the first time your true strength has been revealed. This will reflect in your skills. Your recently acquired skill, Ahan, is about to improve significantly. Also, you have now unlocked a new special skill, Power Swimming Mode. You can only activate this skill in extreme or dangerous situations. It will give you an extra burst of strength. At the same time, Arcus watches his son stumbling toward him. In slow motion, he runs toward Leon. Leon, unable to hold on any longer, collapses into his father's arms. Seeing his son's condition, Arcus immediately understands everything and says, Leon, you did well. I am proud of you. The scene directly shifts from night to morning. By now, the news about what happened inside the cave has spread like wildfire across the village. Those who earlier thought poorly of Leon have started changing their opinions. Throughout the village, people are talking about Leon. One man, carrying his belongings, says to his companion, we always thought Master Leon was just a drunken thug, but he has changed a lot. The other replies, "You absolutely right. My nephew works with him in the mines. He told me how hard Leon works all day." When the monsters attacked the mine, Leon stayed back and made sure all the workers were evacuated first. Only after ensuring everyone was safe, he carried Xavier out himself. Another man adds, "I even heard that inside the cave, it was only Master Leon and Xavier who fought the ants. They attacked the entire ant colony, defeated the queen, and came out of the cave like heroes. Even though Xavier was severely injured, Master Leon carried him out on his shoulders, despite being badly injured himself. If he were really the irresponsible man we thought he was, he would have left Xavier behind and saved himself first. But he didn't. He is a true hero." A fourth person concludes, "Yes, you are right. We clearly misunderstood him." The scene now shifts to the Frontier mansion. Leon is lying on a bed, recovering. Xavier, who has mostly healed due to being a knight and fighting bravely in the cave, sits beside him, waiting for him to wake up. Suddenly, Leon opens his eyes. Xavier immediately leans in, relieved. At that moment, Leon sees a system window appear in front of him. It reads, "Everyone in the village now sees you as a hero. The image they had of you has significantly improved. As a result, you are awarded 500 RP points." Leon, who initially had only 7 RP points, now has 507. Leon stares at the window for a few seconds and thinks, "I don't care about being a hero. I never wanted to be one anyway. But gaining 500 RP points, that's important." He smiles slightly, realizing it's good that the villagers now respect him. However, he also thinks, soon enough, they'll realize that I'm not the kind of person who pulls off heroic deeds every day. These kinds of things only happen once in a while. The story then shifts back to the mine, which has been reactivated. All the workers have resumed their work, focusing heavily on safety. Some workers are reinforcing the tunnels, while others are mining coal. While working, they spot Leon and Xavier approaching. All the workers immediately stop and bow their heads to greet them. Leon smiles and praises them. "You all have done excellent work. Keep it up. Soon, we'll extract a lot of coal from here." Hearing this, the workers' eyes light up with hope. They think to themselves, "Our boss is truly amazing. He respects us, he praises us, and during danger, he puts himself in harm's way to protect us. We must work hard for him." Leon notices the respect in their eyes. Though a little uncomfortable with so much admiration, he feels good knowing that the work is progressing well. Since the ant attack 2 weeks ago, the mine has improved drastically. Every day, they mine a considerable amount of coal while prioritizing safety. Leon personally inspects all areas to ensure there is no risk of another ant attack. As Leon and Xavier walk toward an unexplored part of the cave where no workers are allowed yet, Xavier speaks up, "Leon, why do you always do this? You could send someone else here instead of risking yourself." Leon replies, "Sure, but let's keep the talking to a minimum. Oxygen is low here." Leon tries to avoid the conversation, but Xavier insists, "Tell me, why don't you allow others here? You could easily order me to scout alone. Why put yourself in danger?" Xavier expects Leon to give a noble answer, something like caring for the workers' safety. But Leon sharply responds, "You are such a fool. You don't understand anything. You think I am putting myself in danger unnecessarily? No. Taking risks is part of being a leader. A true leader must always stand at the front and bear the risks himself. At that moment, all the workers will always feel that they are doing the most work here. They'll think that the highest profit should belong to them as well. But the truth is, I know very well that as long as you agree with me, nothing will happen to me. So, in a way, I'm not putting my life at risk. The workers believe I'm doing the most work, and in this way, I will make a lot of money. Just wait and see how much money we make. We will have so much money that when the workers see it, they'll start burning with jealousy. But since we did the most work, they'll appreciate it." Upon hearing this, Xavier's thoughts about Leon start to completely change. He wonders to himself whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. At the same time, Leon sees a notification pop up, saying, "Xavier, your image was supposed to change, but it has been cancelled. You will not receive any RP points." At that moment, the two reach the end of the cave. Leon says, "We're at the very end now. This is the area where we last dug." He pauses and says, "Wait a minute, something dangerous seems to be ahead." Xavier asks, "What do you see?" Leon replies, "I see a large empty space behind this wall. We need to dig here quickly to see what's behind it. Xavier responds, don't you think this could be dangerous? There could be a bunch of ants behind this wall, and as soon as we start digging, they might attack us. Leon says, it could be the opposite. There might be a lot of eggs behind the wall, waiting for us. If that's the case, we'll destroy them all. We don't want them to hatch and attack us. As Leon says this, the ground cracks and a large hole appears. Leon sees something else. There's a monster here, tied up with webs. It's not just one monster, there are many more, all tied up like this. Their condition is the same. Upon seeing this, Xavier quickly pulls Leon back and says, don't go any further. I'll handle them from here. I'll wipe them out with a weight attack. This area is too dangerous. But Leon stops Xavier and says, listen carefully to me. These monsters are all trapped in webs. They can't harm us. We don't need to rush to do anything. Xavier replies, these monsters look pretty strange. Leon says, this is an orc. You probably don't know about them. As they get closer to the monster, Leon continues, I think this one is already dead. Xavier says, I don't think so. I believe it's still alive. I've heard that the monsters here paralyze their prey and store them alive to prevent their bodies from rotting. Leon smiles and says, that's great. This is like a jackpot. These monsters must be like our resources. We'll have many more slaves to use. Later, in the Frontiera family scene, the orc regains consciousness. It speaks to Leon calmly, saying, my name is Aro. You saved my life, and I'll never forget this. Every time the orc speaks, it ends with the word oink. Leon, noticing this, asks, why do you always say oink at the end of every sentence? What does that mean? Aro replies, it doesn't mean anything. I just add it for fun. Aro then reveals something important. He's the son of the chief of the orc tribe, and he's been kidnapped by the ants for a long time. Because Leon saved his life, Aro offers to give him something in return. He says, you can ask me for anything you want. This turns out to be a huge mistake on Aro's part, as Leon realizes he can now demand anything, even a large amount of money. Aro, realizing his mistake, says, what do you want? You can have anything. Leon grins and replies, I want 120 orcs who will work for me, just like you do. They should follow my commands. Aro says, that's impossible. No orc will follow your orders. Leon, after a brief pause, retorts, but you just said you would fulfill any request. You're the chief's son, so you can make this happen. I'm just asking for what's possible. Aro insists, you're not a warrior. Orcs only listen to warriors. You don't look like one. Leon, thinking for a moment, says, well, I'll become a warrior. Remember when I fought that strong enemy? I know you're a powerful orc, but there's something you might have missed. When you attacked the ants, you were paralyzed. You couldn't even complete the mission. So, this means you failed. But that's fine, because you're still a warrior. Aro starts to doubt himself, saying, I failed in my mission. Leon responds, no, not at all. You fought well. You even killed a giant ant. Aro, still confused, asks, wait, the ant was talking. Leon smiles, yes, it was talking. Just like you and me. And we defeated it together. Then, Xavier, who had been silently watching, interrupts, you've been planning this all along, haven't you? Leon smiles and says, you're getting it now, Xavier. Aro, now convinced, says, okay, fine. I'll give you the orcs, but be careful with your words. Don't trap me with your tricks. After a week, the scene shifts to the village of Sand, where the orcs live. Leon and Xavier are there, and Aro is also present. The king of the orcs speaks to Leon, apologizing, we couldn't fulfill your request. Completing it would have cost us too much. Leon, frustrated, thinks to himself, I had worked so hard to make these people my allies. Now, I'll have to start all over again. After that, he speaks to King Akush. You are the chief of this place, so I want to show you respect. However, I still want to understand why you can't accept my request. If I know the reason, maybe I can help you. Upon hearing this, Akush tries to act like a father and says, actually, all of this is happening because of the meat. We need meat constantly because 3 times a day, all the oxen in our village have a specific eating time. We have to keep protein in our bodies so that we don't face a deficiency and our muscles stay strong. That's why all our warriors are always hunting. We hunt in 3 shifts throughout the day. The warriors go to different places to hunt and bring back meat. If we give even a few warriors to you, we'll run short of them, and the meat will be less. Our muscles will weaken, and if that happens, our village will fall apart. We cannot risk the safety of our village just to fulfill your request. I'm sure you understand why we cannot help you with this. At this point, Leon interrupts the chief and says, "Wait a minute. Did you say you hunt 3 times a day?" The chief replies, "Yes, we have to. The meat we get doesn't last beyond a day, and we can't eat spoiled meat. That's why we hunt 3 times a day, to ensure we get fresh meat. We can work harder and get extra meat, but what will we do with it? It will just spoil later." Hearing this, Xavier walks over to Leon and says, "For these people, protein and muscles are crucial. They won't hand over their warriors to us. Maybe you should give up. Nothing will work here." But then, a brilliant idea strikes Leon's mind. He says, "What if I solve your problem? I can solve the meat issue for you. What if you could keep your meat from spoiling quickly and stock it up? That way, you wouldn't have to send your warriors hunting 3 times a day. They could hunt once, bring back as much as they want, and then you could eat it for the next few days." The chief responds, "But that's impossible. You've helped us a lot, but we can't take such a risk. Our muscles are very important. We can't afford to go against that. Your request won't be fulfilled." Leon insists, "Trust me. I can make it happen. I can create a system that will keep your meat from spoiling quickly, and you'll be able to store it for a long time. You won't need to worry about hunting constantly." As we flash back to a few moments earlier, when Leon and Aro entered the village, Aro sees his father and begins to tear up. He rushes towards him, and his father, equally emotional, runs towards him. They hug each other tightly, creating an intense energy. Leon watches this and wonders, what's going on here? These two hug so passionately. Could it be that there's a lot of love between them, like the bond between father and son? But still, the energy they created when they collided, it's a bit too much. Now, imagine if I took some of them with me and they followed my orders. How powerful would I become? I'd have strength and an army of warriors. This could be my chance to gain power. At this point, Aro pulls out a large ant and shows it to everyone in the village. Look, I have succeeded. I brought this ant back for our village. It's not just any ant, this is a queen ant. I went into their nest and brought it out. The orcs cheer for Aro and chant his name. The chief says, "Well done, son. You've proven that you're a true warrior. You're strong and brave. Remember, today is our lack day. Get ready and start your training to build muscle." With that, all the orcs begin their training. They have a lot of gold, and they use it for their exercises. Leon watches them and is surprised by what he sees. One of the orcs is holding a massive piece of gold. Leon thinks to himself, what are they doing with all this gold? This stuff is precious, but they're using it for exercise? They've completely wasted its potential. If they used this gold properly, they could advance so much. But this is good for me. Gold doesn't matter to them, it's just a fitness tool. I could easily take it from them and sell it for a high price. With their help, I could make a huge profit. At this moment, Leon realizes that he needs 120 warriors from this village. This could be the key to his success. During their conversation, the Orc King explained that he couldn't hand over any of his warriors to Leon. The reason? He only had a limited number of orcs, and every single one of them was vital to their village's survival. These orcs had to go hunting 3 times a day to gather food. If there was even a slight delay in their routine, it would lead to a severe lack of protein in their bodies, something that could endanger the entire village. After hearing this, Leon calmly tried to reason with the king. He explained that the orcs didn't necessarily need to hunt 3 times a day. Instead, if they hunted once effectively and brought back enough meat in one go, it would be sufficient. Leon then proposed that he could create a special technique, something like a storage system, that would preserve the meat for a long time. This would drastically reduce the frequency of hunting and ease the strain on the orc population. At first, the Orc King laughed off the idea. He believed it was impossible for Leon to create such a machine. But after listening to Leon's plan in more detail, the king was convinced. He made a deal. If Leon managed to build this meat-preserving machine, the king would offer him a few orcs from his tribe. Moreover, if Leon had any other demands, those too would be fulfilled. Shortly afterward, we see Leon standing with Xavier at a specific location. Leon begins explaining his real motive. He says that he wants to bring all the orcs under his command because they possess a lot of treasure. If Leon could win them over, their treasure would become his too. While speaking, Leon hands a paper to Xavier. As Xavier reads it, he notices a new term, Sheo Nigo. He admits he has no idea what this word means. Leon speculates that it might be the name of the machine they are planning to build. Besides that, the paper seems to include a contract. The deal is simple: once the machine is completed, it will be handed over to the Orc King. In return, the king will provide rare orcs and their gold and equipment. Leon's plan is to convert these gold items into stone replicas and return those to the orcs. Leon feels confident that this plan will work. The orcs wouldn't care if they had stone versions of their equipment instead of the original gold. But if Leon could acquire the real gold, he could use it in powerful and strategic ways. However, before activating this vision, Xavier asks Leon, "What is this school bingo mentioned in the text? What exactly is it?" In response, Leon begins to explain everything. School bingo is the name of the machine, a device designed to create cold storage. Leon reveals that even in his own castle, they face the challenge of preserving food for long periods. There, magicians use magic to chill and store the food. But the orcs don't have such luxuries. They have no magic users who can preserve food for extended durations. That's why Leon proposed this machine, one that creates cold without the need for magic. After listening to this entire explanation, Xavier is left in awe. He asks Leon, "How do you even know all this?" Leon responds with a smirk, "Who are you to question me? What's your relationship with me?" Xavier calmly replies, "I'm your bodyguard." To this, Leon says, "Then that means I'm not obligated to explain anything to you. Let it be." They shift focus as Leon points toward a nearby mountain and says, "We need a special kind of stone to build this storage system, granite. It's incredibly strong." Xavier looks in the direction Leon indicates and says, "If it's that strong, won't it be very difficult to bring it here?" Leon nods and replies, "Yes, you're absolutely right. It's going to be tough." He starts thinking aloud. "We don't even have access to explosives or modern tools here. Back in our world, we use dynamite to break stones like this. But here, things are different. If we try doing it by hand, it could take forever." As Leon ponders, he glances at Xavier. The moment he sees him, all his worries seem to vanish. A thought crosses his mind: as long as Xavier is with me, I don't need to worry about anything else. This was no ordinary bomb. Leon referred to it as a human bomb, something he believed would get the job done. A wide grin spread across his face as he said this. But Xavier, watching this unfold, felt a wave of fear wash over him. Thoughts swirled in his mind: why is he smiling at me like that? There was something sinister in Leon's smile. It didn't feel normal, it felt dangerous. Something terrible was about to happen, and Xavier could sense it. Leon's mind drifted to a time when he had read about a significant chapter in the novel, the chapter called Ramen Wall. According to the story, not far from the main location was a massive city surrounded by a magical wall. This wall wasn't ordinary, it had been created by an immensely powerful monster. Because of this wall, everyone inside the city was completely trapped. They couldn't escape. A rescue operation was required, and the one tasked with it was none other than Xavier. His mission? Break the wall using every ounce of power he had. Xavier gave it his all. At that time, his mana power was extremely potent. He even possessed for extra spells, which meant he could control for additional mana circles within his mana heart. But despite his strength, none of his abilities had any effect on that barrier. Still, he knew this mission had to be completed. Lives depended on him. So in a desperate move, Xavier created a new skill, one that came from the depth of his desire to save the people trapped inside. That desire manifested into an entirely new power. Out of his 4 mana circles, one survived, while the others fused together, forming a massive energy blast. When Xavier unleashed this attack on the wall, it was devastating. The power surged through his sword, releasing a radiant force that smashed into the wall and completely obliterated it. This was the birth of a new technique, the Mana Blast. It became Xavier's signature skill, a move only he had invented. Recalling this, Leon turned to Xavier and said, "I want to help you. I know about one of your incredible skills. I can teach it to you." But something about Leon's expression was off. It didn't look like he genuinely wanted to help. Xavier noticed this and immediately replied, "Your face says it all. It seems like you're not here to help me. It feels more like you want something from me. And whatever skill you're offering to teach, it's for your benefit, not mine." Before Leon could respond, a voice interjected mockingly, "Oh? So you think I'm only helping you because it benefits me? That I'm lying to you?" Xavier stood firm. "Yes. One look into your eyes and I can tell your mind is running a completely different agenda. You're planning something, and I can feel that you're going to use it on me. Even if you claim to help, it's only because you gain something in return. I have known you for a long time, Leon. I know how your mind works." Leon realized then that he couldn't fool Xavier. With a resigned smile, he admitted, "Fine. You're right. This situation benefits both of us. So why make a big deal out of it? Just accept that I'm teaching you a powerful skill. You'll gain from it. I'll gain from it. Isn't that enough?" Xavier smirked. "See? I told you. You do want something from me. That's the real reason you're offering to help." Leon gave a half-hearted laugh and replied, "Yes, yes, you're always right. You're the wise one. Now, if I have your permission, shall we begin?" And with that, Leon started teaching Xavier the new skill. He explained everything, how it worked, what Xavier would need to do to master it, and how to use it in the field. The lesson had begun, and so had the next chapter in Xavier's journey. After hearing all this, Javier steps forward and says, "Not bad. This skill seems decent to me, and this sound, he seems a bit like me. Can this really work?" Just then, Leon's expression changes. He seems to be deep in thought, and says, "Once you master this skill properly, just wait and see what I'll make you do with it. I'll have you working like a full-time laborer here. You'll break this entire mountain, piece by piece." Hearing that, Javier approaches the mountain and says, "Just like you said, I'm pouring all my mana power into my sword. I'll keep only one mana strand with me for control. The rest, every bit of energy I have, will surge out through this sword and pierce deep into this mountain." As soon as he finishes speaking, he thrusts his sword into the mountain. The force is so strong that the sword penetrates deeply into the rocky surface. Javier then begins using powers. A massive amount of energy bursts out from within him. And then, an enormous explosion. Dust engulfs the entire area. Leon hadn't expected this outcome. He's shocked and begins thinking, how is this even possible? He succeeded in the very first attempt. Amidst the thick dust, a figure emerges. It's Javier, walking forward. His upper garments have been completely blown away by the blast. He looks furious. To him, all of this feels like an insult. He storms over to Leon and demands, "Did you know this could happen to me when I used that power?" Leon quickly replies, "No. Absolutely not. I had no idea this would happen. If I had known, I would have stopped you." After hearing that, Javier once again thrusts his sword into the ground and says with a calmer tone, "So that's how it is. If you really didn't know, then fine. Either way, I've now mastered this powerful skill. I've realized just how strong it is, and I know it's going to help me a lot in the future. And since you helped me out here, I suppose I'll help you in return. Tell me, what do you need me to do?" Just as Javier says this, a screen appears in front of Leon. It reads, "Your rating with Javier has increased by +3. It is now at -11. Since Javier is a key character and extremely important to this place, even a slight improvement earns Leon 54 RP points, bringing his total to 561 RP. At this moment, Javier speaks again, his tone serious. "Let me make one thing clear, I am not some construction worker here to follow your every command. I have my own dignity in this place, and I will protect it. I am a swordsman, not a builder. So don't expect too much from me." Hearing this, a small smile appears on Leon's face. He thinks to himself, "Just wait and see how I make use of your powers. From start to finish, you'll end up helping me with everything." As Leon looks at him with this thought in mind, Javier says, "I can hear what you're rethinking. So maybe tone it down a little." A little while later, we see that Pudong was gathering the extracted rocks and transporting them from one place to another like a mobile storage unit. His primary responsibility was to shift all the materials to where they were needed. The stones were immensely heavy, making the job strenuous for everyone involved. Just then, a group of orcs arrived at the scene. Observing the humans, they remarked, "You're working for us, but there's no need to hide anything. It's obvious you're all humans, and weak ones at that." The orcs immediately took over the task. For them, it wasn't hard at all. This was no different from their usual physical workouts. As they got to work, an odd but unified chant came from their mouths. Ong. Ong, it was a sound they made naturally, whether working or even yawning. Leon, who was supervising the operation, sat on the side, observing everything. A quiet satisfaction filled him. Things were running smoothly, so much so that he began calculating that, if this pace continued, the entire task could be completed 5 times faster than expected. Leon turned to Javier and said, I had sent a few people to fetch insulation, but they haven't returned yet. It's been days since they left. I've been so busy I didn't realize how much time had passed. Do you know how long it's been? Javier replied, about 3 weeks. Leon was surprised. 3 weeks? That's a long time. Anyone could have made a round trip to the village and back by now. Javier tried to offer a rational explanation. There are a few possibilities. Maybe they stopped somewhere to rest, or they ran into a problem on the way. Either way, I believe they'll handle it and return soon. We should just wait a bit longer. But Leon was resolute. No, we can't just wait. We need to check on them. I feel something's gone wrong, and only we can fix it. It's time, Javier. We have to act now. As Leon started to move, Javier stepped in front of him, blocking his path. You don't need to go anywhere. I'm your bodyguard. If there's a fight, I'll handle it. You don't need to risk your life unnecessarily. Leon sighed and responded firmly, how many times do I have to remind you? I'm the one in charge here. I give the orders, and I decide who goes where. That means I'm responsible for every single worker's life. I can't walk away from that duty. We're going to find out what happened to them, no matter what. Javier, moved by Leon's determination, finally agreed. The scene then shifts to the following day. Leon and Javier had arrived at a new location. While searching, they discovered a clue, a glove. Leon picked it up and said, this is the same glove you made for the workers, isn't it? I helped design it too, so I know it well. And there's something else. It has traces of insulation on it, the same material we had sent them to collect. That means they found the insulation, but something went wrong along the way. Just then, Javier noticed something in the distance. Master Leon, look over there. Leon followed his gaze. Javier continued, that area ahead, it's called Porgia Gorge. I have a feeling whatever happened to them, we'll find the answers there. Leon narrowed his eyes and said, so that's how it is. Javier responded, besides all this, I'm sensing something unusual about this place. But it's not a familiar kind of energy. That's why I can't say exactly what it is. But there's definitely something wrong here. The moment Leon heard this, his mind instantly went on high alert. He started thinking, Porgia Gorge. I'm trying to recall. Maybe I've heard of Elan before? Back when he used to read that novel, he remembered there was a chapter named after Tefer Gorge. The more he thought, the more anxious he became, until finally, the memory hit him like a lightning bolt. Without wasting a moment, he turned sharply and said urgently, we need to reach them quickly. The workers are in grave danger. Javier asked, surprised, how can you say that with such certainty? Leon replied with a grim expression, because I know everything. I fear. Those workers might already be dead by now. Hurry up, Javier. We don't have any time. Leon was visibly shaken and frightened, his urgency sending chills down Javier's spine as well. As they advanced further, they noticed strange marks on the ground. It seemed as if someone had been dragged, and along the way, some objects had fallen, pieces of wood scattered across the dirt. Following these tracks led them to the entrance of a dark cave. Leon stopped and muttered, this is a dungeon. Its name is Lupula Dungeon. I've seen this before. His eyes widened as the memory resurfaced. Back when I was reading that novel, there was a detailed description of this very cave. It mentioned a powerful monster that resides inside, a monster named Lupi Len. But Leon's expression turned fierce. I don't care what kind of monster it is or how powerful. How dare it attack my workers? Leon started moving into the dungeon. Javier quickly stopped him and said, no, you stay back. There's no need for you to risk yourself. I'll handle this. Leon raised his hand, wait a minute. Something's off. But it was too late. In those few seconds, Javier had already stepped on something, a formation hidden beneath the ground. Leon's eyes widened as he saw it and instinctively yanked Javier backward. Boom! An explosion erupted where Javier had just stood. It was a trap, landmine-like mechanisms laid to keep intruders out. Had Javier moved another inch forward, he would have been blown to pieces. Javier stared in shock. That was dangerous. These are called bobby traps. They are lethal traps designed to kill anyone who steps on them. Leon nodded. You're a knight, Javier. You should always be prepared for danger. Did you really think entering a dungeon would be this easy? Leon's thoughts drifted back to the past. The last time Javier tried to enter this dungeon, he acted the same, reckless. He charged in without thinking and got caught in a trap. His body was severely injured, yet he didn't stop. He had comrades to save, and despite the pain, he pushed deeper into the cave. He kept moving forward, not for the path, but for the mission. But this time, Leon thought, he isn't alone. I'm with him. As long as I'm by his side, he won't suffer a single wound. With resolve in his voice, Leon said, Javier, I have a suggestion. You mentioned earlier that you could feel the mana here. That's good. If the mana here is different, you should be able to use it. Use your power inside this tunnel and try to locate where the bombs are. Javier closed his eyes and concentrated. Soon, he felt it, mana emanating from a spot up ahead. There's a bomb right there, he said, pointing. I can feel the mana crystal. In fact, I can now sense all the crystals scattered throughout this place. We need to go that way. With careful steps, Javier led the way, and Leon followed without hesitation. He trusted Javier completely, so much that he didn't even double-check the path. Javier noticed this and wondered, why does he trust me so much? And then it hit him. Leon knows something. He knows things no one else could possibly know. It feels like he knows the future. He has knowledge and information that hasn't even been discovered yet, things that belong to a time yet to come. Still, Javier reminded himself, this isn't the time to think about that. My priority is to save the soldiers trapped inside. That's my responsibility, and I'll carry it out, no matter what. The scene now shifts to another part of the same cave. We see a different location within it, and it's revealed that everyone has come to know about Leon and Xavier's intrusion. A man stands holding a book in his hand and says, they've already entered, but they won't survive for long. They managed to bypass one of my traps, but there are still many more left. They're here to rescue the soldiers I captured some time ago, but it's already been too long. I'm sure they're all dead by now. I can finally begin my experiments on their corpses. As he says this, he walks towards a gate. It's actually a prison. Upon opening it, we see 5 or 6 men sitting inside. These are the same soldiers Leon had sent earlier to retrieve components, like insulation, for the machine. All of them are still alive. Seeing them alive, he grabs one of the soldiers by the hair and drags him out of the cell. The soldier is in terrible shape, his hands are tied behind his back, and he is completely helpless. He pleads for his life, begging not to be killed. But his captor is unfazed. He throws him onto a circular formation etched into the ground, a ritual circle of sorts. Then he pulls out a crystal from his side and begins to speak. You've been kept alive for a special mission. And now, that mission is about to be fulfilled. As he says this, the man raises his scythe and prepares to strike the soldier in a single deadly attack. But suddenly, a voice echoes from a distance, Hey! You! Who are you? Stay right there. A figure warns him not to make a move and reminds him that the soldiers are his property, no one has the right to harm them. Leon and Xavier arrive at the scene. Seeing them, the man is visibly shaken. He stares in disbelief and says, This is impossible. There were thousands of traps. How did you get here so quickly? This can't be happening. Panicking, he begins to form a strange sigil with his hands. As the formation activates, a massive wall crashes down behind Leon and Xavier, and another wall drops in front of them, effectively trapping them. Now they are stuck in an enclosed space with no way forward or back. Leon, however, knows exactly what's coming. He takes a deep breath. Moments later, a strange mist begins to spread throughout the area. Realizing this is part of the enemy's plan, Leon suspects it's sleeping gas. The man is confident that the gas is so potent, it could even knock out an elephant. He believes that Leon and Xavier will soon be unconscious and will suffer the same fate as the other captives. Their bodies, blood, and energy will all be sacrificed for his benefit. But Leon has no intention of dying here. Quickly, he activates his X-ray vision, scanning the ground beneath him. Then he uses his skills energizer to temporarily boost his physical power for 10 minutes. With renewed strength and no sense of fatigue, he gets to work. He begins digging rapidly, his speed increased tremendously. He thinks to himself, I won't even need the full 10 minutes. This will be done in no time. His excavation speed has improved significantly since his time inside the ant colony. Meanwhile, Xavier remains unaffected by the sleeping gas, thanks to his unique inhuman skill, which renders him immune to such effects. While Leon digs, Xavier watches in awe. He realizes Leon is tearing through the ground like a beast. Within minutes, Leon returns to Xavier and signals him. Xavier immediately understands and moves into the tunnel Leon has created. At the tunnel's far end, Leon gestures toward a specific spot. Xavier plunges his sword into the ground there, and suddenly, a powerful explosion erupts. Leon's plan works. The explosion creates a massive hole and completes the tunnel. Seeing this, the enemy panics. He collapses to the ground in fear and says, "How is this possible? Both of you escaped my trap." Just then, a hand emerges from the shadows. It's Leon. He steps forward and boldly says, "I bet you have never seen an entrance like this before." Leon wears a deadly expression that terrifies the man. The enemy stammers, "You're like a monster." But then he adds, "But I know how to kill monsters. Let me show you what a real monster looks like and how a monster truly enters the stage." As he said this, the man began to use his power. Forming a large magical formation with his hands, he struck it forcefully into the ground. Instantly, another massive formation appeared above Jivan. And from it, a real monster made its grand entrance. This terrifying beast had 2 mouths and was enormous in size. Emerging from the magical formation, it looked nothing less than a nightmare. The man then declared confidently, "I've summoned this creature using summoning magic. It's an immensely powerful monster, and now that it's here, it will annihilate all of you. There's no one among you who can stand against it. Even if you all attack together, you won't be able to put a single scratch on it. So, boys, tell me, how exactly do you plan on fighting and defeating it?" He continued, "Its only weakness lies in its feet," but before he could even finish his sentence, Xavier charged toward the monster without hesitation. He didn't care about what the man was saying. Launching a fierce attack, he unleashed his mana blast, channeling immense energy through his sword. The energy surged with such intensity that the blade sliced through the beast cleanly, cutting the seemingly indestructible monster into 2 pieces. The very creature that was said to be invulnerable was now lying dead, split in half. Seeing this, the summoner was visibly shaken. How is this possible?" he stammered. "How did you defeat it with just 1 attack?" Even Leon was stunned. His expression mirrored the disbelief. He thought to himself, this shouldn't have happened. Even in the book, it didn't happen this way. In the book, Xavier had to attack the monster's feet for it to fall. Defeating it so easily, it's simply impossible. With the monster defeated, Leon and Xavier began approaching the man like true heroes. Terrified, the man started backing away and pleaded, "Please don't kill me. Let me live. I surrender. You two are too powerful. I can't stand against you." Leon looked at him and said coldly, "Do you really think that just by surrendering, I'll forgive you? That's not going to happen. You kidnapped many of my people, tortured them, and because of you, I've suffered major losses. The people who were supposed to bring me resources were delayed because of your interference. Do you have any idea how valuable those resources were? I had to come here myself just to save them. I had to endure so much pain. You will pay the price. Every single thing will be accounted for." Hearing this, the man began to think frantically. "I must save myself, no matter what I have to do, I must survive." With that thought, he fell to his knees in front of Leon, bowed his head, and begged, "I'm sorry. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. I'll pay the full price." Leon replied sternly, "I don't want your apology. And besides, I don't trust you at all. What could you possibly offer me?" The man responded, "Look around. This cave, this isn't just any cave. It's special. I've hidden all the resources I've taken from those I killed here. If you let me live, everything in this cave will be yours. You can take it all. Just let me live." A small smile crept across Leon's face. "Are you serious? Everything in this cave belongs to me." "Yes," the man replied. "It's all yours." While Leon was talking to the man, Xavier had already rushed into the prison section and brought someone out. He showed the wounded man to Leon and said, "Master Leon, look at him. He's badly injured and has almost no energy left in his body, yet I'm sure he'll survive. Judging by his condition, it looks like he's been starving for days." Leon looked at the man and said with concern, "This isn't right. He's been tortured horribly. Turning to the summoner, he demanded, "Why did you keep them starving?" If they had stayed like this a bit longer, they would have died. What exactly were you planning? The man finally confessed, "I'm a black magician. I was conducting an experiment. I was trying to bring the dead back to life. I want to learn how to resurrect the dead." Leon raised an eyebrow. "And what would you do if the experiment worked? Suppose you succeed, who do you want to bring back?" The man's voice softened with emotion. "Some time ago, I lost my wife, my father, and my son. I wanted to bring them back and live with them again." He then told Leon his entire story. Once, he was a sorcerer working for a lord. He lived happily with his wife and child, a normal and joyful life. But one day, the lord set his eyes on the man's wife. He tried to take her. The man fled with his family, hoping to save them, but in the end, the lord caught up and had both his wife and child killed. That loss shattered him. As the man continued pouring out his story, Leon abruptly interrupted, "Enough. I'm not interested in hearing your tragic tale. What matters is that you've killed countless innocent people. Now think, if someday you actually manage to bring your wife and son back, do you really think they'd be happy knowing that you killed so many just to revive them? Look at yourself, what have you become? You've turned into a beast. You created a monster just so you could kill more people in the name of defending yourself. That's not justice. That's cruelty. In this world, some people might care about the reasons behind your actions, some might find your intention significant. But I don't. Whatever your reason was, I don't care. Because in the end, the result of your actions was destruction. Many innocent lives were lost. That's why you deserve punishment. What you did was wrong. Every person you killed had a family. You destroyed their lives. You need to understand something now, your wife and child are dead. No matter what you do, you can't bring them back. The same way that Lord took your family away from you, you've done the exact same thing to others. You've become just like that Lord, a wretched man who robbed many people of their loved ones. If you believe that Lord wronged you, then you've done even worse. Just because you had a reason doesn't mean you had the right. You became a murderer and committed atrocities. You should have realized your mistake." As Leon said all this, the man in front of him finally realized the truth. Tears began to stream down his face. Leon stood up and added, "For now, I'm leaving. But I promise, I'll come back, next time with others. If you try anything, or harm anyone again after I'm gone, I'll make sure you suffer more than you can imagine. Next time, there will be no mercy." Hearing this, the man nodded quickly and bowed his head. "Thank you for sparing my life," he said. As Leon turned to leave, his mind wandered. He remembered reading this novel where Javier was the hero. Javier had once stood at this very place and had made the same choice, to spare this man, Lupe Lin. Javier had merely punished him by making him abandon his lab. Since Lupe Lin had no other option at the time, he agreed. But this leniency came with consequences. Later, Lupe Lin transformed himself into a monster, attacking many and forcing Javier to fight him again and again. Though Lupe Lin kept losing, he always managed to escape. And people kept dying. Leon knew all of this. He was aware that sparing Lupe Lin might be a grave mistake. But still, he chose to let him live. He wanted to test something. Maybe, just maybe, he could change him. Just then, Lupe Lin, sitting behind, had a sudden thought. His eyes lit up with a dangerous gleam. He noticed Leon's guard was down. Quickly, he formed a magical seal and launched a powerful surprise attack from behind. But Leon was ready. He turned and said coldly, "I told you, if you try anything again, I'll finish you. There will be no next time." Lupe Lin's face turned pale. He realized it had all been a trick. Leon had never truly turned his back. His eyes were always on him. And now, he would pay the ultimate price. Javier's sword slashed through the air. In one clean move, Lupe Lin's head was separated from his body. His lifeless form fell to the ground. A flashback followed. Back when Leon used to work in Korea, he was just another struggling worker. His life wasn't easy. His supervisor constantly insulted him, yelled at him, belittled him. Still, Leon believed in the values of a novel protagonist. He thought if he stayed respectful, apologized, and explained himself sincerely, the supervisor would realize his own mistakes and change. So, every time he was scolded, Leon would apologize. But instead of improving, the supervisor's behavior worsened. He even began mocking Leon for always saying sorry. One day, when Leon politely greeted him, the supervisor responded with insults. Your shouting hurts my ears. Just shut up, he said. That's when Leon finally snapped. He approached the man, placed a hand on his shoulder, and said, "Just a minute." As the supervisor turned, Leon punched him hard in the face. The supervisor screamed. Other staff quickly turned to see what was going on. Leon had crossed a line, but he knew deep down that line had been crossed long ago. So, he kept hitting, second punch, third, then a kick. The supervisor collapsed in pain. 2 other officers rushed in and stopped Leon. At that moment, Leon felt a mix of regret and fear. He'd hit a superior. What if he lost his job? What would happen next? But the next day, something unexpected happened. As Leon carried steel rods at work, the same supervisor passed by. Upon seeing Leon, he panicked and walked away without a word. That's when Leon realized something. His kindness had never earned him respect, but one act of defiance changed everything. From that moment on, Leon understood kindness must be reserved for those who deserve it. Those who only understand violence must be dealt with in kind. Otherwise, they will misuse your goodness. With that, the flashback ended. Leon, along with Javier and the rest of the team, exited the cave. Behind them lay the corpse of Lupe Lin. Javier confirmed, "Everything's done here. Let's move." As they left, Leon thought about his past, how in Korea, he used to believe people could change. But now, he knew better. A corrupted mind cannot be cured with kindness. Once a person turns evil, even the best intentions become twisted. They see good people as fools, meant to be used. And with that final realization, the episode came to a close. Thank you for watching. By the end of the last episode, we saw our hero Leon embarking on a rescue mission. He successfully managed to save everyone and even ended up killing a scientist. After this, he set off on a long journey accompanied by a group of soldiers. Their destination? A place inhabited by fearsome beasts and trolls. Leon had made an agreement with these creatures. He had to build a freezer-type machine for them. But to do that, he needed specific materials, which were originally being transported by the soldiers who were captured by the scientist. Now that the scientist was dead, Leon had full access to all the materials that had been in the scientist's possession. Carrying these supplies, Leon began the long trek alongside his soldiers. Some of the soldiers were gravely injured, being tended to by Xavier. The rest, though able to walk, were utterly exhausted. They hadn't eaten for a long time, and their bodies were in a terrible state. Upon noticing this, Leon immediately stepped in. He addressed the soldiers, "Give me your bags. You look completely drained. Your bodies have no energy left, I'll carry them for you." One soldier tried to protest. "No, master. I can manage. You don't need to burden yourself for us." But Leon, irritated, snapped, "Shut your mouth. If you die here, I'll have to drag not just your body, but also your bag. So it's better I take it now." He then turned to the others. "You too, and you as well. Everyone, hand over your supplies. Give me everything you'd carrying." The soldiers were reluctant. They didn't want Leon to suffer on their behalf, even if they were struggling. But when Leon insisted, they had no choice but to comply. They placed their bags in front of him, still pleading, "Master Leon, this isn't necessary. We'll carry it. You putting yourself through unnecessary hardship." Leon ignored their concerns. He tied all the bags together, slung them onto his back, and firmly stated, "If any of you utters a single word from now on, you'll be punished. None of you will receive any bonuses. Just follow behind me in silence." His words struck a chord in their hearts. The soldiers were deeply moved, realizing just how much Leon was willing to suffer for them. Their leader didn't want any of them to feel pain, so he chose to bear it all himself. Seeing him walk with all the supplies while they walked empty-handed brought tears to their eyes. Meanwhile, Xavier, who was carrying another injured man, watched everything unfold. He thought to himself, "Leon is building quite the image for himself. I don't know why he's doing all this, but the soldiers now admire him deeply. Whatever the reason, even if it's selfish, it's a smart move. Their loyalty will grow, and they'll trust him more than ever." As Xavier pondered, a screen appeared before Leon, displaying a message, "Your image has changed. These soldiers are now beginning to think well of you. You have earned RP points. Keep doing good deeds like this." Leon looked at the message and scoffed, "What nonsense. I don't want to do good deeds. I'm only doing this because I get RP points. The day those stop, I'll make everyone carry their own weight. I have no interest in being a good guy." Scene shift, Troll territory. The story now transitions to the troll area, where the construction of the freezer machine has been completed. A large facility, named Scope Bago, has been built, with a massive storage room designed to hold large quantities of meat. Aro, a character now visiting the place, looked around unimpressed. Is this really the machine you were talking about? Scope Bago doesn't look like anything special. And it's not even that cold here. It feels the same as it does outside, maybe just a bit cooler because of that pile of grass on the roof. But this place isn't nearly cold enough to store meat properly. It'll spoil quickly and be useless to us. Hearing this, Leon laughed. Good. At least you understand. But this machine isn't finished yet. There's still one very important ingredient left. Leon calmly tells Aro, you don't need to worry at all. We won't find the ice anywhere. Instead, we'll create it ourselves. Hearing this only confuses Aro further. He looks at Leon, puzzled, and says, you'll create it. Here? How is that even possible? To make this area cold, you need ice, and to make ice, you need an already cold environment. Leon laughs and responds, don't worry, I've got something in mind. His confident smile, however, reveals the truth. He has no concrete plan. Aro senses it. Though Leon tries to appear composed, it's obvious to Aro that he's clueless. Aro just stares at him, unsure of what to make of the situation. At that moment, a screen window appears in front of Leon. It says, you're underestimating Aro. He's not as foolish as you think. He knows you don't have a plan. The message hits hard, reminding Leon of an important fact: these beings around them aren't humans. They're beasts. Aro is thinking the same thing. He reflects, they've already made us work too hard. If we don't create this machine now, they won't take it kindly. They lied to us, and they'll face the consequences. But then, Aro's thoughts take a turn. He remembers how Leon had once helped him. No, he says to himself. I won't let anything happen to him. He saved my life once. Maybe, in return, I can try to spare his. He decides not to hold any grudge, because Leon's actions weren't evil. They trusted him for a reason. With that, Aro chooses to leave the place, but before walking away, he turns to Leon and says, for now, I'm leaving. But if you need any kind of help, don't hesitate to come to me. I'll help you with everything I've got. Leon nods with a confident smile. Don't worry. The next time you return, this machine will be ready. I promise the work will be completed soon, and once it's done, I'll send you the update. Just then, Xavier steps in and questions Leon, so. Do you actually have a plan? How are we going to create ice in this place? Leon goes silent. A moment of uncomfortable stillness passes. He looks at Xavier, sweat forming on his forehead. Finally, he admits, that's a great question. But I don't have the answer. Xavier, help me. Tell me, how can we create ice here? Xavier is stunned. What are you saying? You don't have a plan? You signed the contract. It clearly says we'll build this machine for them. And you had no idea how to do it when you signed it? He continues, anger rising. Do you even know how dangerous these trolls are? If they catch even a hint that we've lied, they'll cook and eat us right here. We'll become part of their protein intake. Leon, trying to stay composed, says, Xavier, listen carefully. Try to understand something. There are two kinds of people in this world, successful people and normal people. Normal people? Give them any task and they'll come up with 1,000 excuses for why they couldn't do it. They always have a reason ready. But capable people, Leon continues, take the task first and then figure out how to complete it. We're capable people. We've taken on the task. Now it's our job to find the way. He firmly adds, if we're to create ice in this place or even cool it down, we'll have to invent something new. This is all a game of the mind. If we all put our heads together, maybe we'll come up with something. We'll create a new invention. Quoting a saying, he says, lift yourself so high that the world asks, what path are you walking, traveler? The line hits hard in the moment, but there's no one around to applaud. As always, Xavier stays quiet. Inside, however, he's cursing Leon. He thinks, what has this guy done? He gave an example of successful people, but only 1 in 1,000 actually succeeds. The rest? They're just crazy. People who start things without a plan usually end up in trouble. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, and not just to him, but to all the soldiers we brought with us. Night falls. Leon sits alone on a rock, lost in thought. He still doesn't have a solid idea. But he starts piecing something together. First, he thinks, we need a mold. A container where we can shape the ice. Once that's done, we'll pour water into it using my companions, Pradong and Bengal. They'll fill the molds with water from their mouths. But the challenge remains how to cool the water enough to turn it into ice. He considers using magic, but there's a problem, there's no magician around. So he needs another method. He reflects, every element in the environment contains a type of mana energy. Some are hot. Some are cold. I have a hand skill. I can absorb mana. I just need to figure out how to use it. Suddenly, inspiration strikes. Yes, Leon says to himself, I can absorb the warm mana energy. And leave behind only the cold mana. That'll convert the water into ice. This could work. I must try it. A slight smile appears on his face as the idea takes shape. By the next morning, we see Leon at the machine. Pradong and Bengal have reached their positions. They've enlarged their bodies and are ready, with water stored in their mouths. At Leon's signal, they release the water into the molds. It's not much, but it's a start. Leon then dips his hand into the water, focusing. He senses two types of mana, hot and cold. As he begins to absorb all the hot mana, the only thing left behind is cold. In theory, that cold mana should now begin the transformation, turning the water into ice. And according to Leon's calculations, this just might work. Thinking this through, Leon begins his process. He starts absorbing all the thermal mana energy present in the environment into his hands. Xavier, who stands behind him, watches everything quietly. He starts to think, this technique is actually quite impressive, even his thought process is sharp. After a bit of reflection, Xavier realizes that Leon has come up with a method in just one day, a method that would be useful in maximum transformations. However, there's still one major issue: Leon doesn't know how to properly absorb mana energy yet. Absorbing mana is one thing, but filtering it and focusing on a specific type of energy is a completely different skill. For that, he'll have to train hard. As of now, the results of Leon's efforts aren't clearly visible. His body is pulling in both types of mana energy, but because he doesn't want to absorb the cold type mana, his absorption rate is slower. Yet, even this limited pace isn't enough to cool down the surroundings as much as needed. He must focus solely on absorbing the thermal mana energy, only then can he manage to freeze the water and form ice. Time passes as Xavier watches Leon continue to work tirelessly. Suddenly, a system window appears before Leon, stating, "You have used your Ascension skill extensively. It has leveled up to level 2. A few days later, we shift to another scene. Aro and his father, the king of the trolls, arrive at the location where Leon had invited them. As they reach, they immediately feel the biting cold. Looking ahead, they're stunned. In front of them stands a massive mountain of ice, with countless ice cubes scattered around. The king, amazed, says, "This is incredible. How did so much ice end up here?" Leon responds, "We created all this ice right here. Now, we just need to collect it and store it in insulation chambers. That will delay the melting process. Besides that, we'll also keep all the meat in this area so it doesn't spoil." Hearing this, the king is overjoyed. Truly remarkable. From now on, we won't need to throw away meat. No more wastage. Aro agrees, yes, and from now on, we won't need to hunt every single day. We'll do one big hunt, bring a large amount of meat here, and then enjoy it at our own pace. It's time to celebrate. The king laughs. "You're right. Invite everyone from the neighboring tribes. Tonight, we feast." As Aro and his father continue to talk, Xavier keeps looking at Leon, clearly amazed. Leon's face carries a faint smile. Then, he glances sideways at Xavier and gestures toward the ice mountain. "See? I told you I'd create it," Leon says. "I used my brain, and everything came together." Xavier nods, impressed. "Yes, truly. You're amazing." The scene then shifts to the village's main area, where Leon and Xavier are being praised. The troll leader approaches Leon and says, "You've done excellent work. You've given us something truly extraordinary. In return, everything you were promised will be granted." Behind Leon, we see a large group of trolls. All of them have now pledged loyalty to Leon. Bowing respectfully before the king, Leon replies, "You are very kind. You've fulfilled every single term mentioned in our contract. I now have a total of 120 trolls. Another system window appears. You have obtained 120 orcs. The king then speaks again. We are not like humans. If we make a promise, we honor it, whether it's in a contract or just in words. Our word holds value. We re-giving you these 120 trolls, and they will obey you. We do this because we are pleased with you. When we are pleased, we give our all. Ask for anything more, and we'll try to provide it. Since you have made me happy, and I am the leader of the Steel Tribe, I hereby promise you, on behalf of my entire tribe, that you and your family are now our allies. We now share a blood bond. With these words, the other trolls strike heroic poses and shout loudly, yes. From this day forth, we share a blood bond with you. You are our brothers. The king declares, from now on, the Frontiera family is our ally. Anyone who stands against you, stands against us. Before they attack you, they'll have to fight us, and we will destroy them. A system window pops up for Leon again, Orc. Tribe has been unlocked. You have formed a strong relationship with them. This is a major achievement. You are awarded 100 RP points. Now, Leon has a total of 611 RP points. Seeing this, he smiles. Our friendship will last a long time. I promise to honor it with all my strength. Days later, we see Leon returning to his village. No one had expected that when he came back, he would bring so much with him. All the villagers are shocked, and rightfully so. Behind Leon stand 120 orcs, each large, muscular, and incredibly powerful in appearance. As soon as the villagers lay eyes on the orcs, they are gripped with terror. None of them understand how these terrifying beings are associated with Leon. But Leon, upon seeing the fear in their eyes, is absolutely delighted. A victorious smile spreads across his face. He thinks to himself, when I reveal to them that all these orcs are actually my slaves, the respect they have for me will grow even more. His eyes then shift toward a window, behind which his mother and father are watching anxiously. They too are visibly frightened. At this point, right then, a screen appears in front of him. It reads, you have received 300 more RP points. Your respect has increased further. You now have a total of 911 RP points. Without wasting time, Leon heads straight to his room. His main task now is to examine all the items he had taken from the Black Magician, after killing him, of course. Leon wants to find out whether those items actually hold any value or if they are just useless junk. He begins inspecting them one by one. First, he notices a strange orb, then a mysterious book. Seeing all this, Xavier asks, do you think any of this stuff is actually useful? Or is it all just scrap material to be sold off? Leon replies, most of this stuff is scrap. We'll only make money by selling it. But before I do that, maybe I should try using some of it. Who knows, it might be useful. As he flips through the book, his eyes suddenly land on a specific spell, and it shocks him. He quickly stands up and tells Xavier, I have to get to the mine immediately. All the workers will be there. I'll be back soon. Without waiting, Leon rushes into the mine and begins shouting, Totas! Where are you? Come to me immediately. Soon his gaze lands on Totas, the very same individual who is destined to serve Leon for 520 years. Totas is working there like an ordinary laborer. He hurries over to Leon and says, My lord, you called for me. Leon responds, Yes, I was thinking about you. I have some very good news. Do you remember how worried you were about working for me for 520 years? I realize now that it's an incredibly unfair situation. Forcing you to serve me for such a long time, knowing full well that it's impossible, it wasn't right. I treated you poorly. Totas, with a flicker of hope, asks, Then, are you going to reduce my punishment? So that I'll serve only as long as I live, and then live the rest of my life freely. Leon shakes his head, No. I'm going to do something even better. I've decided to make your life truly magnificent. You'll get exactly what you always wanted. Totas looks confused and terrified. What do you mean? He asks. A strange smile appears on Leon's face, and Totas instantly senses something terrible is about to happen. Leon pulls out the spellbook and says, Take a look at this. There's a very special spell in here. With it, even if someone dies, they can be brought back to life, completely under my control. Totas's eyes widen in horror. Leon continues, Do you understand what I'm planning now? It means that even after you die while serving me, I'll use this spell on you and bring you back as a Gaul. And once you become a Gaul, you'll continue serving me. This way, your 520-year sentence will be completed one way or another. Don't be sad, rest assured, I will make sure you fulfill every second of it. Leon then laughs maniacally, but Tota's face turns pale. He is paralyzed by fear, unsure how to react. He had always believed that death would bring him peace, but now, even in death, he is destined to work endlessly. Seeing Tota's disheartened expression, Leon gets angry. He frowns and says coldly, I don't see any happiness on your face. I worked so hard for you, and you don't even respect that. This is an order, smile. Upon hearing those words, Totus looks at Leon for a moment. Then suddenly, a wide smile appears on his face, but along with that smile, tears begin to flow from his eyes. Leon begins to walk away, but before leaving, he turns and says, very good. Keep smiling like this. Live your whole life working here, and after you die, I'll make sure you keep working even then. All right, I'm leaving now. Complete your work properly. As Leon departs, a system screen appears before him. The message reads, the ruler of the underworld is highly impressed by you. He wants to offer you a place in hell. You may choose to accept this offer. Without hesitation, Leon laughs and rejects the offer immediately. As he walks out of the cave, he remarks, my actions are so remarkable that even hell is extending offers to me. But I'm not someone who accepts such minor deals. I've got far bigger plans ahead. After all of them, I'll turn my life here into a living heaven. Leon then makes his way directly to the Frontier mansion. He needs to meet his father. For this, he hurries toward his father's office, but finds it empty. A housemaid working nearby notices him and informs him, at this time, your father is in the reception room. Some guests have arrived and he's speaking with them. Leon asks, guests? Who are they? The woman replies, they are the same two men who frequently visit here, a landowners Shiloh and Meatloaf. Upon hearing the names, Leon pauses for a second. Then, an unusual smile spreads across his face. So they're back again. This is going to be fun. The scene now shifts to the hall, where Leon's father is sitting with the two landowners. One of them begins to speak, you already know how our policy works. If we give out a loan, we expect full repayment, with interest. We don't show leniency toward anyone. Everything should have been paid by now. But you haven't made the payment. According to the contract, we now have the right over all your remaining possessions. He pauses briefly, then adds, still, we're offering you a bit of mercy. We've decided to waive 10% of your debt. But in return, you'll have to do something for us. The new mine you've been working on, the one where you're extracting small amounts of coal, we want you to hand it over to us. This is a good offer for you. Your debt will be reduced, your monthly interest will decrease, and overall, it's a beneficial deal. Leon's father falls into deep thought. Seeing this, the two landowners quickly press further. What are you thinking so much about? You don't have any other option. Otherwise, we'll take everything anyway. Honestly, you're no longer even capable of paying just the interest on your debt. So you'd better agree to our terms, it's in your best interest. At that moment, there's a knock at the door. A voice calls from outside, it's me, Leon. May I come in? Leon's father responds, of course, come in. Leon enters the room and, spotting the two men, says with a smile, so you both are here as well. It's a pleasure to see you again. One of the landowners immediately pulls out a contract and declares, this time, we're not here without authority. We've come with full permission. So you can't scare us or trick us like before. Your previous tactics won't work on me anymore. Leon stepped forward calmly and said, hey, why are you all so nervous? We're not here to cause any trouble. Last time, you acted unfairly, and we took action accordingly. As long as things remain legal, there's nothing to worry about. Actually, I'm here with an offer for you, just like you once made us one. Please consider it from our side as well. With your permission, may I begin explaining my offer? But before Leon could continue, the landlord cut him off, his voice sharp and dismissive. No, absolutely not. Leon, undeterred, smirked and replied, well, I'm going to say it anyway. Here's my offer, whatever debt our family owes, we'll divide it into installments. You'll receive a payment every month, or we can even adjust the schedule according to our convenience. The landlord snapped, what nonsense is this? I told you not to speak of any offer. I don't care what kind of deal you're proposing, I didn't hear it, and we're not accepting it. Leon's expression darkened. So that's how it is? You won't even listen to me? You're rejecting my words outright. He clenched his fists. Do you know what happens when I get angry? Suddenly, a thunderous noise echoed across the area. A heavy, stomping sound followed as a massive creature entered the scene. It was an orc, fierce, towering, and clearly enraged. The orc bellowed, "Who dares to infuriate Master Leon?" At the mere sight of the beast, the two landlords paled with fear, trembling where they stood. "Who are you calling a beast?" The orc roared. "How dare you come into the Frontiera mansion and try to intimidate members of the Frontiera family? These people are with us. You cannot harass any of them." Leon calmly raised a hand, signaling the orc to stand down. "It's okay. These people are technically our guests, so for now, you don't need to attack anyone." Then he turned to the landlords with a mocking smile. "Still, why do you think he's so angry?" "Because you tried yelling at me." The orc growled. "It was clear. I saw them raising their voices at you. That is unacceptable." Leon added, "So, if someone shouts at me, is that reason enough to eliminate them?" The orc answered without hesitation, "Absolutely. That alone is enough." The landlords were now so terrified that they clung to each other, shaking uncontrollably. Leon leaned closer and said coldly, "Now, there's no need to panic. You've heard my offer, so just accept it quickly. If you don't, well, you know what happens when I get angry." As he spoke, a wicked smile crept onto Leon's face. Behind him, the orc glared at them menacingly. "Accept the offer," the orc threatened. "If you even think of upsetting Master Leon, I'll rip you into pieces." That was the final straw. The landlords, utterly terrified, agreed to every condition Leon had mentioned. They were now desperate to get out of there alive. A clever move later, Leon met with his father, presenting the newly signed contract. "This is our new agreement. We'll pay the debt in installments." Honestly, I could have asked them to cancel the entire debt right there, and they would have agreed, out of fear. But that would have been legally risky. They could have filed a case against us. So I chose a safer path. His father looked at him proudly. "Thank you. That was a clever move." Leon nodded. "So far, things are going smoothly. I've assigned reliable workers to manage our house and the construction sites. We're making steady income from there. On top of that, our mining operations are doing well too. At this pace, we'll pay off the entire debt soon and become completely debt-free." He handed the contract over. "We only have this one copy, so keep it safe." His father assured him, "Of course. Don't worry." A new problem just as they were about to celebrate, Leon added with concern, "Actually, there's one more problem we need to address. And if we ignore it now, it could become a major issue later." "What is it?" his father asked. Leon pointed to the massive orc standing nearby. "It's him and others like him. These orcs are incredibly powerful, but they require 10 times the food of a normal human. Do you realize what that means? We don't have enough food to keep them fed, and if this continues, they'll soon be starving." Leon continued grimly, "If we want to feed them properly, we'll need to take on more loans. Right now, we simply can't afford to provide for them." His father's face turned pale. The situation was spiraling. Just as they had divided the existing debt into manageable parts, now they'd have to borrow more just to feed these monstrous allies. He thought to himself, what kind of trap have we fallen into? We're taking on debt just to repay old debt. In the next scene, we shift to a cave where a troll is working furiously. With a giant axe in his hands, he smashes it onto a rock with full force, completely shattering it. The other miners standing nearby look on in fear. This particular mine is already in a fragile state, and such intense blows could bring the whole place down. Worried, one of the miners immediately rushes to call Leon. When Leon arrives, the miner informs him, "This orc has been working non-stop. He doesn't get tired at all. We have to stop him before he brings the mine down." Leon gives a clear order, "Stop him. I don't want any orc working in this mine from today. Not even a little bit." Hearing this, the other miners quickly gather around the orc and start dragging him out. But the orc starts yelling, "No! I want to work. If I stop working, my muscles will become useless. I have to keep my body energetic, I can't afford to rest." Hearing this strange outburst, Leon thinks to himself, "These orcs have crazy energy. If I don't find something for them to do, they'll end up causing destruction. But if used right, each orc can do 10 times the work of a normal miner. The problem is, I don't even have work that suits them. And even if I do find something, there's another issue. He realizes that the orcs don't need wages, they only want food. As long as they're fed well, they'll work. But feeding them is no small task. The amount of food they need would cost even more than paying Laboris. Leon finds himself stuck between two impossible choices. To feed the orcs, he needs meat. To buy meat, he needs money. And the only way to earn money quickly? Increase taxes. So he approaches his father again. There are plenty of villagers here, Leon says. And they've got money. We need to figure out how to raise taxes so we can get more revenue and use it for the village. But his father is hesitant. We've already put enough taxes on them, he replies. They're barely managing as it is. If we add more, we'll break their backs. Leon clarifies, I'm not saying we tax them directly. First, we help them earn more, and then we tax their income. That way, no one will complain, and we'll all benefit. His father pauses and asks, what are you planning exactly? Leon smiles. It's simple. There's a barren piece of land I found. Nothing's happening there right now. But if we can make that land fertile, we can lease it out. Farmers will come, grow crops, and sell them. They'll earn profits, start small businesses, and then we can place a reasonable tax on that business. He points out that the northern side of the village has the perfect land for this. Completely unused. If they put in just a little effort, the land could yield huge returns. Leon's father nods. The idea has potential. The plan is set into motion. Leon and Xavier travel to inspect the land. Upon arrival, Xavier looks around and says doubtfully, this place looks useless. There's no way farming can happen here. But Leon, brimming with confidence, replies, don't worry. I've got a plan. Just follow my lead. Though inwardly, he mutters to himself, I just said that to sound confident. I actually have no plan yet. I'll figure it out once I get there. For now, I just have to keep moving forward. If I show doubt, Xavier might back out right now. Sometime later, we see Leon working at the site. Javier had already left him there. While working, Leon starts murmuring to himself, it's already too late. The site selection was slightly off. This area is prone to frequent flooding, and the soft soil keeps getting washed away. I need to find a solution. At the very least, I have to ensure the elevated land above stays intact during light floods. He looks around and continues, this soil has to be taken from here only. Right now, I can think of just one method, the traditional way. I'll have to build a bridge-like structure with my own hands, surrounding it with a small earthen dam. That way, the water can drain from the sides, and the central land will stay protected. But he knew it wasn't going to be easy. I've told everyone I'll do it, but this is going to take a long time, he mutters. As time passes, Leon realizes it's even harder than he imagined. Days turn into weeks, and 21 days pass. Yet, Leon is still toiling away at the same task. That's when Javier and Leon's father arrive at the location. Observing his son, the father asks Javier, how long has he been working here like this? Javier replies, almost 21 days. He's been working day and night without rest. He doesn't even care about sleep or food anymore, he just keeps going. Hearing this, Leon's father looks at his son and says with a softened voice, my son has truly changed. He wasn't like this before. He never had the strength to work this hard, but now, he's doing all of this by himself. He's putting in this effort for all of us, for the Frontiera family. We're in debt, and he's trying to lift that burden. He adds, I can't help him with the actual work, but I'll never be an obstacle in his path. I want him to follow his will, freely. Javier nods, you're absolutely right, sir. You'll never be an obstacle, only a support. And trust me, his master Leon. He'll definitely find a way to make this work. I've been with him for a long time now, once he sets his mind on something, he gets it done. Just then, a system notification pops up for Leon, the image of you in Javier and your father's mind has changed. You've earned 20 RP points. Leon, however, doesn't bother with it. He remains focused, tirelessly working. The next day, after days of sweat and effort, Leon finally completes the construction. Around the central plot of land, he's built a wall or bridge-like structure. Sitting down for a moment, he breathes heavily. Then, a smile creeps across his face as he says, I did it. I really pulled it off. He continues, half jokingly. Now, a lot of farmers will work here. And guess what? I'm going to tax them so much that most of their money will end up in my tax ledger. We'll use that money to pay off the family debt, or maybe I'll keep some of it for personal use. But either way, I'll make sure I get my share. I've worked too hard on this land. Exhausted, Leon stands up, but just then, another system window appears. You've unlocked a new skill, architecture design. Leon, now curious, forgets his fatigue and quickly checks it out. But to his dismay, the skill seems useless. It only allows him to view a map in front of him and simulate terrain changes to predict environmental impact. To test it, Leon looks at a mountain shown on the map. He tries pulling it upward with his hand, and immediately, the virtual mountain cracks and collapses. Leon frowns, so I can't even raise terrain without it crumbling. What's the point of this? Irritated, he snaps at the system. I spent 22 whole days building that, and this is what you give me? A worthless skill? Just looking at building structures won't help me. I still have to build everything myself. The system responds calmly. All skills you gain are based on your karma. The way you've worked and increased your skills determines the nature and progress of the abilities you receive. Leon sighs. Why am I even arguing with you? It's useless. I've got to move forward. He calls out, Brew, Dang, Ban Gull. Get over here. We need to start the next phase immediately. There's a lot of work to be done. Then, thinking aloud, he adds, since we've got even more work now, I think it's time to add a new friend to our team. As morning breaks, Leon surveys the land ahead. It's surrounded by a massive amount of water. He declares, our first major task is to drain all this water. That's your job, Bangull and Brew Dang. You two will handle it. Hearing this, both of them panic. Seeing their frightened faces, Leon smirks and says, I know this job is way too big for you both to handle alone. That's why I'm about to bring in someone new. After the recent events, Leon sat down, deep in thought. I've got a good amount of RP points right now, he murmured to himself. I should spend some of them to summon new products, accessories, or maybe even some monsters that can help me with upcoming tasks. He focused and commanded, System, summon the summoning game in front of me. As soon as Leon said that, a translucent screen appeared before him. On it, a message was displayed. To play the summoning game, you must now spend 100 RP points. Leon squinted at the screen and grumbled, inflation's hit everywhere, even in games. Earlier, I could summon twice for this price. Now, it's 100 points for just one attempt. He sighed and calculated quickly. At this rate, I can only summon about 4 more times before all my RP is gone. Determined, he clicked the Start button. Suddenly, a strange green screen shimmered into existence. A weird sound echoed from within, and something launched out of it, hitting Leon square in the mouth. He staggered as blood dripped from his nose. What the hell was that? The object dropped to the ground and began to glow. As the light faded, a peculiar creature emerged. It looked like a small, hippo-like monster. Leon groaned, oh no. Not this again. Meanwhile, Pudong and Bengal, 2 of his previous monster allies, were cheering loudly. They seemed thrilled by the arrival of this new creature, who, to Leon's disbelief, was yelling its name repeatedly, Hip. 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 The trio suddenly broke into a coordinated, joyful dance. Their rhythm was clumsy, but their friendship was obvious. Leon stepped into their celebration awkwardly and said, sorry to interrupt, but can any of you tell me how I can use you? Do you have a user manual or something? Without hesitation, the hippo monster opened its mouth and spat out a soggy, dripping wet manual. Leon hesitantly picked it up and started reading. His expression soured. Wait. This monster can't even grow in size? The others can evolve after eating those special seeds, but this one has no such ability. Doubt clouded Leon's face. Did I just waste 100 RP points on trash? Still trying to make sense of it all, Leon turned back to the system and said, System, summon the summoning game again, I need another monster. But the screen flashed another message, only 1 summon allowed per day. Leon stared at the screen, frustrated. So, that's it? My entire day is wasted on a monster that's completely useless to me. Hearing this, the hippo monster's expression fell. Pudong and Bengal rushed to comfort it, while Bengal glared angrily at Leon. Leon tried to explain himself. Look, I didn't mean to hurt anyone. It's just, this guy can't grow, he's small, and unlike you two, he can't help me in fights. I need monsters who can assist me in everything. If he can't contribute, what's the point of keeping him? This only made things worse. The hippo burst into tears, while Pudong and Bengal took a stand. They sat down with signs that read, "Strike. Treat your employees with respect. It's not okay to call out our weaknesses." Leon began to panic. Great. Because of one useless monster, I've now lost the trust of the two who actually do all the work. Desperate, he approached the hippo. Hey! You don't need to cry. Let's talk. Do you have any skills? Let me check for myself if you're really as useless as I thought. As he focused, a skill window popped up. Leon's eyes widened. Skill, Hamming skill, one shot, level 1. It was a water absorption skill. The monster could absorb all nearby water into its belly. Leon's eyebrows shot up. Wait. This is exactly what I needed right now. He turned to the hippo and asked, so, how much water can you absorb in one go? The hippo silently pointed at its belly. Leon nodded. Got it. As much as your belly can take. That's fair. A smile slowly spread across Leon's face. Maybe, just maybe, luck's finally on my side. He looked at the hippo again and said, you're going to be more useful than I thought. All right then, show me your skill once. Let's check how powerful you really are, Leon said firmly. Hearing this, the massive hippo began moving swiftly toward the water. As it reached the edge, it immediately started drinking. At first, its speed was painfully slow. Leon watched closely and muttered, this is pathetic. If it absorbs water this slowly, it'll be useless to us. But just then, something began to change. The hippo's pace gradually picked up. As it drank more, its body started expanding. Leon stood stunned as he watched the transformation unfold before his eyes. As the hippo gulped down more and more water, it grew rapidly in size. Within seconds, its absorption speed skyrocketed. With one massive gulp, it absorbed a huge portion of the water in front of it. And then, shockingly, in just a few seconds, the entire pond that had been there moments ago was completely dry. Leon's mouth dropped open in disbelief. He glanced around. The giant pool of water had vanished as if it never existed. Incredible, he whispered. This thing absorbed everything in mere seconds. Even if I had used Prue Dang and Bengal, it would have taken us at least 3 or 4 days to drain this place. But this beast did it in under 2 minutes. Prue Dang and Bengal glanced at each other with puzzled and slightly annoyed expressions. Leon chuckled and added, all right, no need to act smug. I get it now. I was wrong. This skill, it's actually pretty amazing. It could really help us. Then, Leon turned to the system and asked, tell me something. All these summoning events happening here. Are they really randomized? Yes, the system responded. When you entered this world, you had no luck. No special skills. Everything you now possess, you gained after arriving here. So far, it's all been a result of sheer luck. That doesn't mean it will always be this way. So enjoy it while it lasts. Leon fell silent, absorbing the system's words. He turned back to the hippo, which by now had grown to a monstrous size. All right, get back to work, he ordered. Absorb every drop of water you can. I know you're still thirsty. You've got room in your body for more. As Leon looked around, he realized just how massive the area was. The task ahead was far too large for one creature alone. He would need help. So, he brought in the rest of his workers. When they arrived and saw the enormous hippo, they were stunned. It was bigger than any monster they had ever seen. Some of them flinched in fear. Meanwhile, the hippo just laughed loudly, seemingly proud of its size. Leon was using the hippo like a living container. The creature absorbed all the water in the area and then waddled over to the nearby river to release it. This process repeated in cycles, absorb and release. From this, one thing became clear, the hippo had a limit. Once it reached that limit, it needed to empty itself before refilling again. After the hippo cleared an area of water, the workers began their tasks. With tools in hand, they started cultivating the land, making it fertile. Their main job was to remove all the weeds and unwanted vegetation. Next came Xavier. Using his mana blast, he stirred the fertile soil from deep underground and brought it to the surface. The rich soil from below replaced the nutrient-depleted top layer. Meanwhile, the weeds from the top were pushed underground and would later act as natural fertilizer. After Xavier's job was done, Prudence stepped in. He leveled the ground and planted bamboo pillars at specific intervals. These bamboo structures were used like straws, a clever design to extract any remaining underground water. Once everything was set, the hippo returned and used those bamboo straws to suck out the water from deep within the earth. Leon managed the entire operation with sharp leadership. He kept everyone motivated and working in sync. Days passed like this. After 10 days of intense labor, they had managed to transform a vast area into fertile farmland. But when Leon looked at the full map, a sobering truth hit him: this area was still just a tiny fraction of the overall target. Everyone, work with all you have got, he addressed the team. Once we finish this, you'll all get a bonus, and a big party too. Upon hearing the news, all the workers at the site were filled with joy. With renewed energy, they began working enthusiastically. A little while later, we see Xavier standing on a high ledge, observing the entire area. As he looks out across the land, he speaks thoughtfully. This place, it really has transformed. Once, it was nothing more than a barren wasteland, completely useless. But now it looks like fertile farmland. Incredible! He reflects on how this unproductive land has been converted into a cultivable area and how it will greatly benefit the Frontiera family in the future. Then, Xavier looks at his hand. He's holding a shovel. What's happening to me? He mutters to himself. I'm a knight. I should be wielding a sword, not a shovel. This boy, Leon, is making me do all the wrong jobs. His frustration builds. If he gives me even one more of these menial tasks, I swear I'll refuse right to his face. Just then, Leon arrives at the spot, cheerfully calling out, Xavier! There you are. I've got another task for you. He hands Xavier a sack of seeds. Take these and spread them across the entire field. We need this done quickly, and you're the best man for the job. Hearing this, Xavier becomes irritated. What is he even saying? I'm a knight, not a farmer. I can't be doing this kind of work. Give this to someone else. But Leon calmly replies, actually, no one else can do this as well as you. These are pesticides in the form of seeds. If they aren't spread immediately, the crops could be destroyed by pests. All the cultivation we've done so far will go to waste. He continues, we must finish this task today, and only you can do it. Xavier, though still annoyed, finally agrees. He begins working, scattering the seeds across the field and watering the soil. As he works, he thinks to himself, once again, he convinced me to do this useless job. But next time, I'll definitely say no. I won't keep doing this nonsense. At that moment, a voice calls out from behind. Unbelievable, he actually did it. He transformed this wasteland into a fertile field. Leon's mother and father arrive, visibly surprised. His father steps forward and says, not just me, but everyone in this area must be wondering the same thing. How did this happen? It feels like a miracle. As they speak, the camera pans over a vast expanse of cultivated land. While it appeared small on the map, in reality, the area is massive, and it was all prepared in just a few days. As Leon walks past the workers, they all look at him with smiles. Everyone knows that soon, they'll have good employment thanks to this effort. They feel deep respect for Leon. With that, Leon gains more RP points, 450 to be exact, bringing his total to 1281, his highest yet. Days pass. The cultivation progresses. Just to clarify, cultivation here doesn't refer to the strengthening of the human body as in martial arts, but rather actual farming. Due to cultivation, the grasses that Leon had given to Xavier in seed form begin to dry, a sign of successful planting. Seeing this, Xavier begins to feel a sense of satisfaction. This wasn't a meaningless job after all, he thinks. I actually enjoyed doing it. I thought it was beneath me, but it's not. There's value, even in this. Leon walks over and says, looks like you're enjoying yourself, huh? Well, get ready for more fun. We're about to build something big, a water wheel. Xavier frowns. A water wheel? What for? Leon explains, this area gets a lot of rain, sometimes even floods. With the water wheel in place, we'll be able to drain excess water quickly. If we don't build it, everything we've worked for could be drowned. Xavier nods. Then you'd better start construction fast. The rain can come any time. Leon smiles. Already started. My engineers are working on it. Construction will begin very soon. Just then, the sound of horses galloping echoes in the distance. A group of riders approaches. They aren't empty-handed, each horse carries a person. Leon narrows his eyes. Who are these people? Xavier squints, recognizing one of the men. That man, his name is Viscount Locona. He's from the north. The horses come to a halt. One of the men steps forward, speaking with arrogance. Who's in charge of this operation? His tone is rude, he has no idea who Leon is. Xavier immediately steps forward, his voice sharp. How dare you speak like that to our lord? Just as the situation begins to heat up, Leon steps forward calmly and interrupts the man. With a composed demeanor, he says, "Yes, I'm the one in charge here. What do you need? How can I help you?" The man scoffs at Leon's politeness and responds bluntly, "Yes, you can help me by getting out of here. Don't you people know? This land belongs to Count Locona. We have complete authority over this place. You cannot conduct any project here without our permission. It would be better for you to leave now. Otherwise, if you continue this pointless construction, you'll be severely punished." The narrative then shifts to provide context about the land in question. This region is divided into 3 zones. First, there's Locona, from where this man and his people hail. Second, Frontiera, which is Leon's homeland. And third, the Wasteland, a barren stretch of land that lies between the 2 territories. The wasteland frequently suffers from floods, making it unfit for construction or habitation. It's considered worthless. Yet, because land is crucial for any village, both Locona and Frontiera have fought over it for years. Eventually, a truce is reached. A boundary line is drawn, dividing the wasteland in 2, one side assigned to Locona, the other to Frontiera. With this settlement, the fighting stops. Years pass. Then comes a man with a vision to transform the desolate wasteland into fertile land. That man is Leon. He decides to work on Frontiera's portion of the land, using his own project to rejuvenate it. And he succeeds. But when the people of Locona discover that Frontiera's side of the wasteland has now become fertile, greed clouds their judgment. Realizing their side remains barren and useless, they come up with a plan: let's take that land. Either attack directly or find another way to drive Leon out. So, they arrive at the site, hoping to challenge Leon, unaware of the storm they're about to walk into. Leon, fully aware of their intentions, remains calm. As soon as he hears the name of the intruder, he understands everything. A faint smile appears on his face. So they've come at last, he thinks. Now it's my turn to take everything from them. With this resolve, Leon strides confidently toward their leader, the Viscount, and says, "So, this conflict is over land, right? You want this land?" One of the men standing beside the Viscount steps forward and snaps, "Of course we want this land. Get out of here. This land belongs to us." That's the last straw for Leon. His expression hardens. "You talk too much," he says coldly. "Do you even know who I am? When 2 noblemen are speaking, how dare a lowly man like you interrupt? Shut your mouth and stand aside." The force of Leon's voice stuns everyone. Sweat trickles down faces. Workers stop what they're doing. Fear becomes visible on every face. Even the Viscount is shaken. His face tightens, and it becomes clear to him, this man is not to be trifled with. Leon steps closer, his voice firm and unwavering. "My name is Leon Frontiera. I'm the son of Baron Frontiera." The Viscount sneers. "Yes, I've heard your name. And also about your brutal behavior. You're not respected. You're a disgrace. I don't even wish to speak with you. Bring your father instead. He's the only one worth talking to." Leon lightly taps his ear, pretending he didn't hear. The gesture drives the Viscount mad with frustration. "Are you ignoring me? Did you not hear what I said? Send your father. I won't talk to a child." Leon tilts his head and smirks. "Oh, I heard you just fine. But what I'm actually hearing sounds like a bug buzzing around me. A very irritating little insect. It's really bothering me. I feel like squashing it." The Viscount stares at him, confused. "What are you talking about?" "There's no bug here." That's when the man beside him whispers, "My lord. He's talking about you. He just insulted you." The realization dawns, and the Viscount's rage boils over. And on that explosive note, the episode ends. Thank you for watching.